This is ESPN on ABC.
You're watching Veterans Week coverage on ESPN, brought to you by USAA.
Just an absolutely gorgeous fall day. We're in Baltimore, Maryland for one of the great rivalries, one of the traditional rivalries in college football. The number 20 Notre Dame Fighting Irish on the road to take on the midshipmen of Navy. You know, we're not on campus at the Naval Academy, but Navy's traditions traveled just a few moments ago. In the middle of one of them, our own Chris Budd.
Dave, we may be 30 miles from the Naval Academy in Annapolis, but this morning started like every other home game with the same tradition that they do back at the Naval Academy, and that is the March of the Midshipmen. It started in downtown Baltimore. They all met at Camden Yards, where the Baltimore Orioles play. They marched through downtown all the way into the stadium, where they will line up by 30 companies. They are introduced individually to the fans. When they all take the field, they then march into the stadium and into the stands where they will watch the rest of the game. What an incredible tradition. Every home game for the Naval Academy.
Well, it really is, Chris. Such a cool scene here in Baltimore, and alongside Chris Budd, it is so cool to be a part of this rivalry game. Dave Fleming, Dan Orlovsky, great to have you with us. And Dan, look, we're going to celebrate the men and women of the U.S. Naval Academy on Veterans Weekend throughout our broadcast. We'll focus on football here for a minute, and we'll start with Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish have had a crazy season, roller coaster season. Might undersell it a little bit. They started the top five, big expectations. Brand new head coach Marcus Freeman. You start the year 0-2. You lose to Ohio State, okay, but then a home loss to Marshall. Panic sets in. 3 straight wins, back on track. But an underperforming Stanford team went to South Bend, beat the Irish. They have found a way to rebound from that. They've won 3 in a row. And last week, Dan, against Clemson, by far and away the most impressive overall performance for the Irish.
And they looked like Notre Dame. Certainly one of their better regular season wins in a long time, one of their more dominating. When I say look like Notre Dame, big bodies on the line of scrimmage, multiple tight ends. They pounded the football with their backs. Their defense played suffocating style of football. They flew to the football. You know, Dave, if you kind of bottle that up, that's who Notre Dame is. That's certainly who they're expected to be under Marcus Freeman.
That's what their players, coaches are hoping to repeat here today in this game against Navy. The fans here in Baltimore, all the pageantry of this rivalry, have had lots to look at up above as we count down to kickoff just minutes away. Notre Dame and Navy.
A breakfast.
And welcome to ESPN College Football presented by Arby's. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. From the home of the Baltimore Ravens here in Baltimore, Maryland, Navy, Notre Dame, and ready for kickoff inside with a big crowd expected. And all the pageantry of the pregame, we showed you a little glimpse of that, has been cleared out. It's time to play some football. Marcus Freeman's team coming off their best performance of the year, trying to back it up after throttling Clemson last week at home. Back on the road here in Maryland, Michael Mayer and the Notre Dame offense will be on the field to start the game. Ken Niumatalolo, longtime head coach at Navy, his team not having a great year. The midshipmen looking to this game to have a signature performance. Navy's just 3-6 on the season, and here we go from Baltimore. The Irish are going to get the ball first. Fairly short kickoff, and it is returnable. Chris Tyree will spin outside the 30, and that's where Notre Dame will start with their offense coming on the field.
And their offense is kind of settled into who they want to be, Dave. Multiple tight ends on the field over the past month. 2 backs that really have stood out. Logan Diggs, who's finally back from injury, and then Audric Estime, who's kind of their hammer on offense. But make no mistake about it, their primetime player, one of the best tight ends in America, is Michael Mayer. Contested catches. Everything in this offense, pass game rise, runs through him. I'm so excited to watch a guy that is going to be a star in the NFL play today.
Mel Kiper's #1 tight end prospect, one of the top prospects for the NFL draft. And if you talk to the Notre Dame people, all the history at that position, and they think he's the greatest they've ever had. Drew Pine's going to keep it on the first play of the game, and he takes a fairly big hit. That may not be the true strength of Drew Pine's game.
He's a little bit more of a ball distributor. You know, very simply put, when the plays are there from his offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, make them. And when they're not, don't make the massive mistake. He's settled in a little bit more over the past couple weeks, use his feet when it's not there, and just make sure the ball's getting out of his hands to their playmakers.
And maybe that first play, good example. Got 4 yards on first down. Notre Dame's ground attack has been so powerful, especially as the season's gone on. In the air, and there's the first catch of the day for the big tight end who is gang tackled. Mayer with his first reception. It's going to be 3rd down.
Michael Mayer, just a special player. I mean, really good in the contested catches, like I mentioned. Really good route runner. I think over the last month, what's also helped his offense is he's become a little bit more part of the blocking in their run game and physical at the point of attack.
He is a true tight end.
No doubt. Jason Witten type of player, you know, like can absolutely do both and big-bodied enough to handle defensive ends.
6'4", 260 pounds, 3rd and 3 for the Irish on the first possession of this game. And Pine's going to hand the ball off. Navy's defense is there to make the stop. Logan Diggs stopped about a yard short, and what will the Irish do?
I think if you're Notre Dame, you go for this. Your run game has been so good, so physical. Navy is a little bit undersized on their defensive line. It also kind of follows the sequence of play calling that they've started off. You know, a little bit of a quarterback run early on and then 2 essentially short yardage runs. You pound the football off the right side.
Real tight formation. A quarterback sneaks straight ahead, and I think that's good enough. Close, but it looked to me like Notre Dame got the first down. And it is a first down for the Fighting Irish. Mitchell Evans, another one of those big-bodied tight ends, not nearly the receiver, at least not yet, that Michael Mayer is. Quick snap, but the play stopped before it starts. Navy called a timeout.
Before the ball was snapped, timeout was called by Navy. That is their first charge of this half.
All right, so we'll keep it here. Navy wasn't organized for a first down, and it gives us a chance to take a look at our impact players.
I think for Notre Dame offensively, the guy that you just mentioned, Mitchell Evans, Mayer is unquestionably their star tight end, but him coming and being that second tight end for this offense has been huge. And then John Marshall, linebacker for Navy, has got to have a special afternoon running through the football, fitting the run, handling some of the play action pass. I absolutely believe that Evans has changed this offense and who they are and who they can be. And then Marshall's one of the better players for Navy's defense.
Call him a striker. That's the position identified by the Navy defensive coaches, one of the captains of this Navy team.
A little bit of a hybrid, you know, like a little bit of a safety, a little bit of a linebacker. They use him in a bunch of different ways. He's a fun football player to watch.
So Notre Dame converts the first down, going forward in their own territory. Straight ahead run. Logan Diggs got a yard or 2 on first down.
One of the things for Navy's defense that they're kind of predicated on, Dave, is like movement, right? They move a lot before the snap. They move a lot after the snap. And so as good as Notre Dame's run game has been and as big as their guys are, that's got to be the secret for Navy today, is kind of confusing, giving Notre Dame's offense a little bit of chaos to look at.
This is a little bit of a strength-on-strength matchup. Navy's defense has been tough against the run overall this year. Diggs in the backfield again alongside Drew Pine. Play fake to Diggs. Pine's going to throw, and he's going to throw deep. He's got his man, and it's caught. That's Braden Lenzy for a first down into Navy territory.
This is a good route by Lenzy. We call this a post corner. Watch him push vertical. Now you're going to sell the post inside to get that corner to fall off, and now flatten to the sideline. Drew Pine gets the ball out of his hands on time into a good spot. Lenzy's a guy that's got to be really important for this offense because the speed dynamic that he brings.
That's 21 yards for Notre Dame. They're still looking for more consistency from that wide receiver position. All kinds of time for Pine. He'll check down to Lenzy. And a good open field tackle for Deshaun Peel, getting his first career start at defensive back for Navy.
Yeah, Peel's a good young player for them. Every time he's on the field, something good happens for their defense. He plays well. He's an ex-wide receiver. His quickness is added to their defense.
Second down, handoff, and a tackle in the backfield. Logan Diggs is going down. That was Will Harbor, one of the Navy linebackers who was in there in a flash.
And there's some of that movement from their defensive line. It kind of takes away some of the blocking from Notre Dame offensively, and then Harbor shoots right through the A and B gap, essentially between the guard and the center, unblocked, brings Logan Diggs to the ground, and this is where Navy's defense has an opportunity at least. I would not be surprised if they come out all-out pressure against this Notre Dame offense.
Navy hasn't been great in these kind of third and long situations on defense. They know they need to be better. And they are bringing pressure. Pine will throw, and he completes a pass across the middle. Estime, touchdown Notre Dame. 30 yards.
This is a beautiful job. You're going to get pressure all out. Now what's going to happen is Estime is going to come from the left side to the right side, slip as he's going to block, and then become unblocked down the middle of the field. It's a called play at the line of scrimmage, anticipating all-out pressure from Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator of Notre Dame. Estime goes untouched. It's the perfect play call versus what Navy wanted to do defensively.
9-play drive. Notre Dame went for it on 4th down, converted, 67 yards. And into the end zone to start this game in Baltimore. Audric Estime, known much more as a power back, carrying the ball this time in the passing game, 30 yards. And Notre Dame's got the 7-0 lead.
College football on ABC is presented by Arby's. Arby's, we have the meats. And in part by Dave & Buster's. Eat and Play Combo is back, starting at only $19.99.
It was fun to be here yesterday. They had the Veterans Day Parade through downtown Baltimore, honoring the men and women who have served. The weather, you could tell, has gotten a lot better here on Saturday. Notre Dame with a great start down the field for a touchdown to begin the game.
And now it's Navy's turn, and Navy notorious for one of the more difficult offenses in the history of college football to stop, the triple option. The first read is the end man on the line of scrimmage. If that end man goes wide, well, the quarterback, our line, is going to give the ball to that fullback on the dive. And if he steps down, he keeps it himself. Now step 2 and 3 happen. He's reading that alley defender, attacking his inside shoulder. If he steps down, kick it out to the back. If he widens, you cut up inside it. So all that decision making. It's not as simple as just a individualized version of that triple option. There are multiple layers of it, but that's the foundation. Our line's very good at it.
Xavier Arline, starting for just the 7th time, pitches it on 1st down to Vincent Terrell Jr. Made some big plays. Arline, who's a really interesting story. He is a multi-sport athlete, not just in high school, but also in college. Committed to play lacrosse at Carolina. He's a very good lacrosse player. That's your area of expertise.
Lefty finish?
Not really mine. I could say he's really good at it. 7th career start for the midshipman. And he has not yet proven that he can beat teams through the air, but really that's not the design of this Navy offense. If things are going perfectly, they never have to throw the ball straight ahead, and a big hole right up the middle. That's Dama Fofana for a Navy 1st down. Let's get our first check in studio with Kevin Negandhi.
Dave, good afternoon. Time now for a Mayhem Moment brought to you by Allstate and Boog. Virginia's Brendan Armstrong giving out gifts.
Yeah, gifts early, especially laid out to the flat, pick 6 cab, easy walk in.
There's Marquise Williams. And then the next play. Here comes MJ Devonshire. Thank you.
Really good job by him in zone coverage, reading the quarterback. And we got the perfect guy on the call. Orlowski, 2 pick sixes.
He can
Dave,
understand.
make sure you ask him about that.
Yeah, he can understand and relate. 14-0 pick.
Gosh, good start, bud. Good start. Proud of you.
Arline running that option play. He's going to keep it. He does have good quickness to get around the corner after the 15-yard gain straight ahead. Now it'll be 2nd down for Navy. Now look, we were making the point. It's not to say that he can't do it, but that's season total, Dan.
Yeah.
He's completed 1 pass.
And they've got to be a little bit more willing, and they know. Coach Ken Niama'a, give it to me.
Nia Matalolo.
Nia Matalolo, they know that they have got to throw the ball or at least try to throw the ball a little bit more with our line to keep Notre Dame's defense a little bit on their heels and not completely sell out for the run.
You just have to prove that the possibility
I'm
is
capable
there.
of it, yep.
And we'll see if Navy can do that on 2nd and 6, close to their own 45. Penalty flag was down, but maybe a timeout before.
Before the play clock expired, timeout, Navy.
So
Second
Navy
of the half.
burns its 2nd timeout. We'll step aside with the midshipmen. Be back right after this.
Spicy bun.
Even the Jenga, when you get the
Look at
midshipmen
that.
involved, is patriotic.
Oh, no.
Yeah, looks good though. 7-0 Notre Dame here in Baltimore. 8:39 to go first quarter. This game's been played here before. The last time Navy and Notre Dame got together in Baltimore, you look at that score, you wouldn't think classic game, but Navy scored late, kicked an onside kick. They recovered, and the midshipmen would punch it in with just a few plays later to make it 27-21. They had another onside kick, another recovery remarkably, and a last chance, but the pass fell incomplete. And so Charlie Weiss and the Irish escaped with a victory. That's the last time the game was played here in Baltimore.
Can we get one of those today?
I would
one of
love
those
to have
exciting
one of those.
finishes today?
Marcus Freeman might not be rooting for that. I think Navy would take that. If late in the game they're in it, that would be a victory. Our line keeps it and gets tackled from behind. Nice play defensively by Jack Kaiser.
Man, how important is Kaiser today for this Notre Dame defense? The junior is going to play a little backer, a little bit of safety. Watch him off the top side, the left side of your screen, just scrape on the backside and track our line down. You know, Notre Dame's out, or their starting middle linebacker, J.D. Bertrand, is out. So really, there are two linebackers playing inside today. Maris Leofau and Junior Tuialamaka have never really seen this option offense. So Jack Kaiser's just got to be the absolute dominant player for their defense front seven today.
Notre Dame expects J.D. Bertrand. He tried to warm up and go. They expect him back next week. Our line dropped back like he might pass. Now takes off and gets tackled after a short gain. So it'll be 4th down and a couple, maybe 3 coming up. We'll see if Navy goes for it. Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I would say I think you got to punt the ball if you're Navy. Try to pin Notre Dame's offense back again. Your defense has been a solid run-stopping unit, and you know, playing against the front seven in Notre Dame is pretty good. I think this is the right decision for Navy.
Riley Reithman, the punter, with Matt Salerno. No Brandon Joseph also. So 2 key defensive players for Notre Dame are not going to play today. Brandon Joseph is out with an injury, so Matt Salerno is the punt returner for the Irish. You got to be careful when you punt the ball against Notre Dame. Remarkable special team success, particularly on that punt unit. Fair catch by Salerno. The Irish offense will come back on the field. Tuesday night, ESPN has college hoops and college football for you. College basketball doubleheader, the 12th annual State Farm Champions Classic. This year they're doing it in Indianapolis. Kentucky, Michigan State, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. In between games, it's Reese Davis and the gang. The exclusive reveal of the college football playoff top 25. Then back to Indy for game 2. Number 7 Duke, number 5 Kansas. All coming up on Tuesday. You think of the storied rivalry here in football, some of the great programs in college basketball history, 3 of the 4 winningest programs in the history of that sport.
Michigan State almost beat Gonzaga last night, right? Gonzaga, Drew Timmy's still playing there, his 7th year.
Yeah, number 1, it's Gonzaga, not Gonzaga. Number 2,
West Coast guy.
Yes, they did almost beat him. It took a last-minute comeback for the Zags to get the win. On first down, Notre Dame with the 2-yard run. So they played that one on the aircraft carrier deck in San Diego for Veterans Day.
That's got to be so hard to make a shot, you know, with this dumb question. Does the ship move at all?
It's a really, really big ship. But
mean,
it's not dry docked.
Yeah.
It's sitting in the harbor in San Diego. I think they had pretty calm conditions. Maybe you might feel a little rocking, a little bit. 2nd and 8 for Notre Dame. 2nd time they've had the ball. Pine will hand it off, straight ahead run, big hole, bouncing it to the left side. Estime gets the Notre Dame first down.
You know, Notre Dame kind of shifts into this bunch set, and then this is called split flow zone, where out of the pistol formation, Mayer comes back and cuts the line of scrimmage. And you know, talk about Estime, his shoulder square. That's when he's a difference maker.
That wasn't even really a stiff arm, high pass and a good catch. But then the big hit. Lindsey held on to the ball, gain of 4.
You know, that's something Notre Dame's offense has become this pre-snap shift in motion team. They want to get into a bunch of different formations pre-snap and run simple plays.
Most of their running plays are I mean, they don't have a really deep playbook in terms of the plays that they call, but they have a ton of different looks to get into those plays.
Yeah, I mean, very simply, Tommy Rees, their play caller in the white hat right there. They don't have an exotic run game after the snap, but they have an exotic run game before the snap. Multiple tight ends on the field. They'll get into what looks like a passing formation, what looks like a running formation. They'll shift into a different group, and they're really running 1 or 2 type of schemes it just presents a lot differently to a defense. I wouldn't be surprised if they run off the right side of their offensive line again.
3rd and short, maybe 4 down territory again. You would expect it would be. Instead, they pitch it left side, and Diggs cuts it upfield to get the Notre Dame first down. There is a penalty flag down on the play, though. As of now, Irish converted. We'll see.
There is no foul for face mask. The run resulted in a first down.
Okay, close, but they did not call a face mask.
Right.
There.
That's a great shot of it right there. Good job by that officiating crew.
Riley Johnson, the referee, ACC crew here today in Baltimore. Diggs, they fake the pitch to him. Pine gets pressured, had to get rid of it. Flag comes in on the hit on the quarterback from John Marshall. The pass was incomplete, but that's going to be a penalty against Navy, and Marshall can't believe it.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 1. 50-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's a bad call. I don't know what the officiating crew wants John Marshall to do. He comes unblocked. Watch where he hits Drew Pine with what? He hits him in the shoulders with his hands. There's nothing else that he can do different. There's no launch. There's no contact to the head or neck area. That's as good as you can do in that situation if you're John Marshall.
Oof. I do not believe that's the way that penalty is supposed to be called. That is a tough one against Navy. So first down, Notre Dame back into the midshipmen's territory inside the 40.
Flem, think about it though. You go from incomplete pass now to 15-yard penalty inside the 40-yard line. I mean, there's a chance Navy gets to 2nd and 10. That gives them an opportunity to get a stop. Now it's 15-yard and automatic first down.
Since the foul was a previous spot foul, it will be enforced from the previous spot on the left hash. First down.
They got that part of it right.
There we go.
You can tell the Navy fans are cranky about that one. I don't blame them. Logan Diggs alongside Drew Pine and the Navy in the Notre Dame backfield. Navy again crowding the line of scrimmage on first down. Pine back to pass, pressured, steps up. Pine's going to heave it deep toward the end zone, and it is caught! A reach around, Braden Lenzy somehow snagged it. What a catch! And B.D. Williams was there in the way. An incredible catch by Lenzy for a Notre Dame touchdown. How did he do it?
You will not find many better catches in college football. That is incredible. There's Lenzy. He's just running a go route. Pine breaks the pocket. Watch him pin it on the back. And then B.D. Williams goes left, then to the right hand. Absolutely spectacular.
That was like a magic trick.
Oh my goodness.
So a 38-yard touchdown throw and especially catch. Extra point up and good. The penalty, Notre Dame got a big break and they took advantage of it.
Incredible. Drew Pine gets out of the pocket, heaves up a prayer to Braden Lenzy. Goes left hand to right hand on the back of Navy's defensive back. And the Irish off to a fast start. Early on it was Estime, then it's Lenzy. 14-0 Irish in Baltimore.
It was a night at the Home Depot.
Thank you.
What a play. Braden Lenzy. Notre Dame looking for playmakers at the wideout spot. That counts as a playmaker.
That's one of the best catches I have ever seen. I mean, the strength, the hand-eye coordination, pins it right on the back of the defensive back. I mean, that is an absolute prayer thrown up by Drew Pine, and his receiver makes him right. Look at the hug. Like, this is what I did. I just gave him a hug, and the ball happened to be there with my hands.
The hug should be going in reverse. All right, let's go down to the field to Chris Budden. Chris?
Guys, Marcus Freeman's message to his team the last couple of weeks has been stay in the middle emotionally. Don't get too high, too low. There'll always be a mountain in front of you. talking about this season, but also in the game. And he started to finally see that out of his quarterback last week. Drew Pine scores a touchdown, comes to the sideline. Marcus Freeman asked him, what'd you see on that play? And his response was, doesn't matter, because they're on to the next one.
Yeah, because the truth is, as a quarterback, I have no idea. And I don't know what to tell you, so it doesn't matter. No, Marcus was great, and his vision and his leadership traits and skills get to shine in those meetings that we get to sit with him.
Fun guy to chat with. The option offense back on the field. The pitch play for a short gain to Vincent Terrell. Drew Pine, by the way, 7 of 7 throwing the ball at the start of this one.
Talking about Marcus Freeman and touching on what Chris was talking about, he really talked about, okay, like you're always in between one of those two mountains. And once you climb another mountain, you get down to the bottom, there's another mountain that you have to go try to climb up. And it's that constant focus, because we asked him, massive win last week. How do you not allow a letdown or whatnot? And he just has such a great vision to sit there and say, stay in the middle of that emotionally, never high, never too low.
So far, so good. No letdown for the Irish. On second down, Navy pitches it again. This time a little more room around the corner for Terrell, the junior from Honolulu. Vincent Terrell Jr., who's at Navy as a midshipman himself. He comes from a military family, his mom and dad. Part of the fun of being here today on Veterans Weekend, seeing this Navy team, the program, talking to their players and coaches.
How impressive are they as a group to just sit there and forget the conversation about football, just the conversation about sacrifice and commitment and teamwork and hard work. It's a really special honor to be able to do that.
Third down, Arline's going to throw the ball. He's got a man out there, and his throw is caught in stride. Just the second completion of the year for Xavier Arline to Mark Walker for a big gain of 34 yards.
How about that on 3rd and 4? You get a little ball fake, and then watch Walker off the left side. He's got a crossing seam. Beautiful touch throw from Arline. I mean, that's exactly what this offense needs. They are not going to be a chuck and duck offense. But think about that, what that does to Notre Dame's defense now. Like, oh, they will and they can. And now it's just going to force a little bit of that secondary to have better eye discipline, hang back. That means they can't commit to stopping that run as much.
That's a very big play for Navy trying to hang around this game. Arline's going to drop back to throw. He'll try to check it down, but incomplete, intended for Mikel Haywood. I mean, it is true, the complementary game, when you run the triple option, you're not going to throw a lot, but when you do, those big plays should be there.
Yeah, so, Flem, there's two ways to stop the run. You either commit numbers or you blitz. Either way, you're a little bit more exposed on the back end when it comes to your coverage. So, when you're playing against this team that's outrushed their opponents by over 1,300 yards this year, you know who they are, and you've got to commit to stopping that, and it gives you a little bit of risk with your coverage.
That was a very rare first down throw for Navy. Now on second down, the straight ahead handoff. Big hole, Fofana. Touchdown, Navy. 36 yards. The bedrock play of this triple option offense. That right there.
Fullback dive, man. Fofana takes it right up the gut. Man, that was needed for Navy's offense. Think of the sequence of events. Bad breaks on the offense, but then that pass to Walker, and then Fofana hits his head on the goalpost.
36-yard touchdown run after the long pass play on third down. Extra point is up, and it is no good. First kick of the year for Bijan Nichols, who's been hurt. He's a captain on special teams, and he missed the point after.
So watch, you're not going to block this defensive tackle if you're Navy, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to have a guy climb up to that linebacker, and as this wingback flies that way, he's going to follow. There's the read for Fofana. You read that defensive tackle who's unblocked. It gains a number to climb up to that linebacker. You have a guy wingback running sideline to pull another defender away, and that's how you get a 210-pound fullback untouched. That's the beauty of that option, but it's also the credit of why our line does a really good job with it. Got to see a lot going on with that defense.
I mean, I feel bad for Bijan Nichols. He's been a big part of this program for a long time. He's been hurt all year. He hasn't kicked a single time. He finally gets healthy, and he hooks his first point after try. But Navy, just like we always say, the Navy offense, quick strike, right down the field.
And they do it through the air.
A little against type for Ken Niumatalolo's team. Kickoff and another returnable kick for Chris Tyree. He's going to take it left side, and Tyree will get swarmed. Tackled well short of the 20-yard line. Notre Dame's offense getting ready to come back on the field. We'll be back in 8 seconds now. A look from Ram Trucks.
Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Well, the Irish offense, 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. Now trying to answer Navy on the board. 2:12 to go first quarter. Dave Fleming, Dan Orlovsky, Chris Budden. Great to have you with us on this Veterans Day weekend. Beautiful fall Saturday in Baltimore. 95th all-time meeting between Notre Dame and Navy. Drew Pine in the offense. Now some movement up front.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
But it wasn't the movement. The clock expired. Delay a game.
You know, something Drew Pine, he's having, even though they had that massive win versus Clemson last week, he did not star. He's off to a very good afternoon. They ask him to do a lot at the line, though. As defenses change things, he's got to handle a lot of their run game stuff.
I don't think the Irish were really bothered by the fact that they had their fewest passing yards in 5 years. They throttled Clemson. They did it on the ground. It was windy. They were ahead. They didn't need to throw.
I mean, their special teams played its part. Their defense was suffocating. Marcus Freeman knows who they are. You know, we had Notre Dame versus Carolina about 6 weeks ago, and you talk to Freeman, you talk to Tommy Reed, like who are we figuring out who we can be? And they've got 2 tackles in Joe Alt and Blake Fisher. Joe Alt might be the best left tackle in all of college football right now. I've talked about their that's who they are. They are a pound the football offense.
And they've really leaned into it. 2nd and 14. Pine will hand it off. Estime, when he's going side to side, that's not where he's at his best. He gets stopped after a short gain. It's going to be 3rd and long.
Yeah, the movement, again, for Navy's defense is doing a really good job. Those defensive linemen slanting as the ball's getting snapped is having a good impact. So we've seen a couple 3rd downs for Notre Dame offensively. Navy has said, we're going to all-out pressure you. If I was Navy right now and their defensive coordinator, Brian Newberry, I'm just going to rush 3. I'm going to play 8 guys in coverage. I'm going to say, Drew Pine, I'm going to force you to think your way through zone coverage.
They have the look of that here. We'll see if they stick to that. And Navy does rush. Just 3. Pine in the pocket. Throws across the middle. And a perfect strike for a first down. And much more to Deion Colsey, the sophomore, all the way out close to the 45. That's 28 yards.
Yeah, we call this a dagger concept. This guy's got one job, clear out coverage, okay? And then you got the shallow cross coming in the in route. You got to read that hit zone defender. If he stays low, rip the in behind him. If you're Drew Pine, really good progression. High to low off those zone defenders.
That's a big conversion. They'll get the pass complete to Lenzy in the left flat, but he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage as the final seconds of the first quarter wind down. Navy's done some good things actually on defense. But
they just haven't got off the field on 3rd down. That's really
done a really good job converting. They converted a 4th down.
It's Drew Pine's been pretty darn good on 3rd down. You know, the walk-in touchdown to Estime. He makes the play to Lenzy and then that rip on the in route.
So the first quarter comes to an end in Baltimore, Maryland. The pageantry of Navy and Notre Dame. The Irish have a 14-6 lead. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
The AT&T Countdown to the College Football Playoff National Championship. Monday, January 9th on ESPN.
And welcome to ESPN College Football presented by Arby's as part of Veterans Week on ABC, brought to you by USAA. We did our pull-ups before the game, of course. Back here for the start of the second quarter. Notre Dame has the ball. 2nd and 10. Pine with a play fake. Estime blocks the blitzer. Pine on the move is going to heave it up and throw it away. That's the first incompletion of the day for Drew Pine.
Good decision, though. It's the only play that he has. The pressure comes off. He does a good job avoiding that instead of forcing the ball, certainly on that 2nd down. I always say this, those are the examples of live to fight another down type of situation for young quarterbacks.
Drew Pine's been perfect on 3rd down. Notre Dame's had a couple big conversions already. This is another 3rd and 10. Estime in the backfield with Pine.
He's looking to the sideline. Are they getting pressure off the edge?
Just a 4-man rush for Navy. Pine across the middle, and the pass is caught. And a broken tackle inside the 20. That's Jaden Thomas, the freshman wide receiver. Another big gain through the air.
Yeah, he's right here. He's going to run a seam, and as that safety widens, Drew Pine's going to see that safety to the field deep. Those underneath defenders hang. There's that seam right down the middle of the field. That's why Drew Pine was peeking to the sideline. Hey, what are they going to be in? That's called a little bit of a 2 trap. The underneath defenders don't carry vertical, and I love the touch on that throw. Think about this right now. 3rd down early on, the touchdown to Estime. 3rd down to Lenzy. 3rd down, that big in route, and then the big completion there to Jaden Thomas.
38 yards. Funny, you watch Jaden Thomas in person. He looks like a tight end.
No doubt. I called him a tight end this week. I thought he was their 3rd guy in the field.
Pine, a little play fake, shoulder fake. Lots of time to the end zone, incomplete. Trying to hit Thomas. He got his hands on it, but it falls incomplete.
Yeah, I love that play call, though. You're trying to fake a perimeter screen and rip it, and you know, what you're trying to get is like a little bit of a fake screen, right? Michael Mayer here, you're going to bluff and then go down the sideline. It's not there. Navy does a good job defending it, and then you're trying to get this wrap in to the field. Really good job. I love the fact that Thomas crosses face to the safety. Good contested play by Navy secondary. I love the play call, the decision, and the defense.
Play fake to Estime, and now Michael Mayer gets his 2nd catch, slips a tackle, stays on his feet, and is inside the 5. What a move by Michael Mayer. Rayon Lane finally got him down. That's a gain of 15.
Really good job by Mayer here. Just dumping it to the flat, right? Now it's one-on-one in open field. Makes one guy miss. Strong to stiff arm with the right hand. What did you call him this week? Tight end?
Well, because sometimes the way he spells his last name, M-A-Y-E-R, people ask, how do you say that? You say it Mayer, like Mayor, and so the way I remember it, he's the mayor of Tight End Town.
There we go, man. It helps my dumb mind remember it, so.
He's the mayor. Brock Bowers might be running to contest Michael, but all the tight ends in college football, I don't think there's a more complete one. You can have a spirited debate about who's the best. Pine handoff on 1st and goal. Estime will get dragged down. Jacob Busick led the way.
You know, Drew Pine is not much of a runner for this offense. This is when he becomes a little bit more of the conversation with that. We saw him on a zone read last week versus Clemson. You know, when you're playing one of these offenses, got big tight ends, a lot of movement, you can lose sight of the quarterback in some of these zone read concepts. I'd like to see if Notre Dame implements that here.
2nd and goal. Estime shuffles over to Pine's right side. Pine back to pass, throws left flat, unguarded. That's Chris Tyree. Touchdown, Notre Dame. Third drive and 3rd touchdown for the Irish. 10 plays, 83 yards. Like Groupie for his 3rd point after try. And the kick is up and perfect right down the middle.
This is a hot route by Drew Pine. I love the vision. Marshall's going to pressure. Here's Tyree. You got to do a really good job of having your eyes there. If that guy blitzes, you replace him with the throw, and that's how Tyree comes uncovered. Tommy Reese dials up the perfect play. Drew Pine sees it perfectly again. The Irish offense is rolling.
Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One in the Big 12. Undefeated number 4 TCU in Austin. Taking on Bijan Robinson and the number 18 Longhorns, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC as well as on the ESPN app. We have flyovers and parachuters. They have Bevo. Kind of a different scene in Austin today. But a very big game in the Big 12. TCU is going to get tested. In fact, they are underdogs in that game. Kickoff after another Notre Dame touchdown. Haywood got tripped up, and the ball came out. Notre Dame's got it. The ball came out. Now, the officials, I think, are ruling that the return man Haywood was down.
Navy.
They're going to keep the football with Navy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was down. Kind of a funny looking play. The ball popped straight up.
I was like thinking it might have hit a heel, you know, popped off a heel of one of the Notre Dame players or a Navy player and popped up in the air. Navy catches the break.
So the Navy offense, after they scored their first touchdown of the game last time, the midshipmen had it back on the field with their quarterback Xavier Arline. Navy does have to start from inside their own 20, right about at the 20. Arline under center, and now Navy moved.
Ball start. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. First down.
All right, let's check in studio with Kevin.
Okay, time now for our AT&T countdown to the CFP National Championship. And Book, we didn't see this last week. C.J. Stroud finding the end zone with his arm.
No doubt, Kev. His ability to find the open man is outstanding. And then maybe the most lethal combination in college football. Stroud to Marvin Harrison Jr. Bye-bye.
Too easy, too good right now. Ohio State up 21-7. Back to you guys.
Is that some snow?
There's a little bit of snow there. Booger doesn't know what that is. He's a spoiled southern snob.
Booger and snow, they do not go together. Second down for the midshipmen. Second quarter here from Baltimore. It's going to get a lot colder here tomorrow, but for today, you could not ask for a nicer fall day.
It's spectacular out. I mean, it's a beautiful scene. Baltimore showed out. Notre Dame's fans have traveled very well. Navy obviously so close. It's a special day.
Be a beautiful day to wander down to Annapolis after the game by the waterfront before the cold air moves in tomorrow. Second down, Arline gave it up the middle. Another big gain. This is Fofana again on the move, making moves inside the 40 and finally out of bounds inside the 35. What a run. Dabo Fofana. 50 yards.
A little bit of a counter option, right? So you're not going to block this defender, but Fofana is going to come to the right and then wrap all the way around. Beautiful job. You got pullers to kick out, and then there's that vision as that tackle climbs up to the linebacker, Maris Leofau. Navy right now has got to be sitting there saying, hey, the fullback dive has been a really good thing. I've talked about it with no J.D. Bertrand. These linebackers from Notre Dame really haven't seen this in real life. That dive right now is working for Navy.
They got another experienced defender in the middle of the defense, Brandon Joseph, who's out. Arline was going to pass. Now he's going to run. Xavier Arline inside the 20, 15-10, down to the 5 and shoved out of bounds by Kaiser. It'll be first and goal, Navy.
Some of those first down passes, you know, Arline widens up or opens up to his left to go throw. Nothing's there. He's got a seam on the right side of Love. No hesitation. And then go allow your athleticism to be a part. He's obviously an option quarterback. We talked about the lacrosse background. The quick decision making that Xavier Arline is showing right now certainly helping this Navy offense have success.
Navy's offense, big play offense so far today. It's a bunch of big plays already.
They got to finish here, though. This has been the back-breaking aspect of their offense. They haven't finished in red zones.
Yeah, they played Cincinnati, a good team, tough last week, and did not finish in this part of the field. The big hit. Arline gets a yard and no more on first and goal. Notre Dame's rush defense has been really solid this year. 124 yards a game allowed. They've already given up 144.
Don't forget, I think 2017, Marcus Freeman, when he was defensive coordinator for Cincinnati, gave up 569 rushing yards to this Navy offense. A day that he says he will never forget. Al Golden, his defensive coordinator, coached against this Navy offense in Temple multiple times years ago.
Al Golden hasn't faced Navy's offense in a while. Now whistles and a timeout. Our referee microphone not working properly, but we got the timeout. We'll be back for second and goal right after this.
College football presented by Arby's on ABC is brought to you by USAA. This Veterans Day, join us in celebrating all those who serve. And Burger King, your Whopper, your way. You rule.
And we do hope that you join us in celebrating all our men and women who are spread out across the globe serving this country on Veterans Weekend. A big thank you from us. Navy Notre Dame here in Baltimore on this beautiful Saturday. So much deep respect and history in this particular rivalry. There's a really close connection between these two schools. It goes back a century. Very appropriate that these two would play on Veterans Weekend. Navy trying to punch it in. Second and goal. Use their final timeout of this first half. Our line will pitch it right side and well defended by the Irish. Anton Hall just had nowhere to go.
Really nice job by Foskey and Leofau running to the football. You know, Isaiah Foskey, who's about to break the Notre Dame sack record, one away or half a sack away, and Leofau doing a good job of getting lateral towards. I think Navy's got to be thinking 4-down territory right now, Flem. I know it's on the 4-yard line, but your defense hasn't found a way to stop Notre Dame's offense. You have had some success. I really believe if you get another yard or two, 4th down becomes an option to go for it.
Yeah, I just don't think kicking field goals is going to be enough for Navy today, so I think you're right. Play fake, our line rolling right. Our line will throw it up, and it's intercepted. Back of the end zone, DJ Brown got his foot down, but a penalty flag is down. So for the moment, it's an interception.
Holding, defense number 2. The penalty is half the distance to the goal line. Automatic first down.
So Brown, the guy who came up with the interception, flagged for the hold.
Yeah, that's a right call. You know, Navy's trying to leak Vincent Terrell out a little bit on the back end line, and DJ Brown kind of rips him to the ground. You're going to see it right there. Yeah, there's a little bit of tug there.
I think it was the right call. I'm not sure why our line went ahead and threw the ball.
I actually think our line's trying to throw it away, and he gets hit while doing so, and the ball floats on him.
All right, first and goal. That's obviously an impactful call. The handoff straight ahead, and Notre Dame stacks Fofana up. Might have run into his own man first. So again, this theme for Navy, when the triple option is working the way it's supposed to work, inside the 20, I mean, Navy has historically had a lot of success. This year, just not the same.
Seeing Al Golden, the defensive play caller for Notre Dame. It's, you know, when it's in the open field, you're a little bit more spread out. You got a little bit more ground to cover. Now Notre Dame defensively can really sell out towards that run. Still think you lean on who you are.
And now our line faked a couple times. Touchdown. Good ball handling by Xavier Arline. The hole opened up and he took it in himself.
There's a lot going on in this play right now. You got wingbacks flying all over the place. Arline's like, what do I do with the football? Turns into a football player, essentially takes it himself. They find a way to punch it in. I think if you're Navy, you should think about going for, maybe go for 2 to cut it to a 7-point lead.
We're not chasing points yet.
No, we're not there. I don't know, bub.
I'm with you. After the first kick was a little ugly, that one much more like it from Bijan Nichols. So the second touchdown of the first half, midshipman hanging around with Notre Dame. You know, we talked about the shared history between Notre Dame and Navy. It's deep, it's powerful. In World War II, Notre Dame, I don't want to say they were going to go out of business as an institution. They were struggling with so many of their students away fighting during World War II. Navy kind of kept them afloat, and then Notre Dame returned the favor in the 1950s and 60s. Lots of schools were getting rid of ROTC programs. Notre Dame welcomed Navy and the military onto campus. It's a really cool shared history.
I had no idea about that.
Onside kick! Navy trying to take Notre Dame by surprise, and Notre Dame was ready for it. Why not? Irish will have the ball right at midfield with a heads-up special teams play from Notre Dame.
It's a pretty darn good kick, too. I mean, I love the call. Just a blink softer. Credit Notre Dame, you know, with that front line not running back too far, being ready for any and all. Coach Niumatalolo being aggressive. Their special teams coordinator for Notre Dame, Brian Mason, who's had a tremendous impact on that program, got his unit ready.
He's got college football talking. Like, how are they so good on special teams?
Yeah.
That's a good special teams coach. So Notre Dame was prepared on first down, a short gain on the ground.
What did Marcus Freeman talking about Mason, their special teams coach? Called him a little quirky, you know, super intelligent guy, but, you know, kind of no stone unturned mentality when it comes to trying to figure out. And they also play their starters on special teams. Marcus Freeman makes it a point to his program to say, hey guys, this is who we're playing this week. They only got 5 guys on their special teams starting wise. We got 17. Who do you think takes it more seriously?
I think it is twofold, right? You got a good special teams coordinator, and you have a head coach who's willing to let his starters play on special teams. Second down run, and a nice move. That's Logan Diggs, who got close, I think a yard short. We'll check in studio with Kevin.
Dave Early Window, family of networks here, and Boog told me it's too cold for the Tigers. Temps in the 20s. Number 7 LSU at Arkansas. We're tied up at 3 apiece on ESPN. Illinois up 7-0 over Purdue right now on ESPN2. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Diggs with the first down run, so it's 1st and 10 Notre Dame.
So think about this. Notre Dame starts this series. They got 3 tight ends on the field. They go run, 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 get a first down. Now they take a tight end off. They put a bigger bodied wide receiver on. They still have enough size where they can present themselves as a running threat, but also they actually have 4 tight ends on the field right now. They can also spread it out and throw it. This is where I think they're at their best.
The old 4 tight end formation.
A lot of meat on the field, man.
Some big bodies out there. Pine will hand it off. Bouncing left, and then Diggs gets upended. Big, strong dude. You fall forward, you get 4 yards.
Diggs is special. You know, Logan Diggs, who's missed some time this year because of injury, since he's come back over 529 yards rushing. And he's really their do-it-all back. Tyree's a little bit more of a pass-catching guy. They move him around, put him in a slot. Estime is their hammer. Diggs is the guy that whatever the situation is, they can get to him.
Tyree is the back who's in the game right now for 2nd and 7.
Here comes pressure off the edge. That's why Drew Pine's looking at, do we want to try and maybe take a shot down the seam in the pass game?
You got the All-American tight end Michael Mayer. Instead, they're going to hand the ball off, and Navy is there. So the midshipmen tackle the runner behind the line of scrimmage. Will Harper's having a really good first half, the middle linebacker.
The shift, watch that defensive tackle start to run over the top, right? When you pressure off one side, you got defensive linemen stunting. Credit Navy's defense. They've stayed true to that. Now, we've talked about this, River, right, Flem? Like 3rd down. They've tried pressure, it hasn't worked. They've tried coverage, it hasn't worked. You know, maybe this is when Brian Newberry, their defensive coordinator, runs a fire zone. You bring a couple guys off one side, you drop others in zone, try to confuse Drew Pine.
Notre Dame's been excellent on 3rd down. 3rd and 8 here for the Irish. Pine in the shotgun, quick hitter, and the completion with a big block by Mayer on the sideline. Navy did, though, stop that receiver, Lorenzo Styles, short of a first down, so it's 4th down, and let's see what the Irish decide to do.
I think you kick this now.
And that's what Marcus Freeman's going to do.
That's the right choice. Good job by Navy's defense. They brought a fire zone pressure, forced that little kick out perimeter screen, run to the football. Now you force a field goal attempt out of Notre Dame's offense.
Blake Grupe's got a strong leg. This will be a 45-yard try. Under 4 minutes to go first half. From the left hash, Grupe's kick is up, and it is drifting right. It is no good. Navy's defense, for the first time all game, comes up with a stop.
Navy's defense finds a way on third down to get off the field. Notre Dame attempts the kick, wide right. Navy's got a chance to make this a ball game going into half.
Capital One halftime report coming your way. Booger McFarland, Kevin Nagani. Tennessee, Ohio State looking pretty good. What's wrong with LSU right now on the road?
Yeah, you know Tigers don't like cold
Here
weather.
we go.
It's a little chilly in Fayetteville.
Here we go.
We like it 72 and warm and not 26 and windy.
They better start heating up right now. It's tied up at 3 apiece against Arkansas. Highlights coming your way. Dave, back to you.
All right, we'll look forward to that. Brian Kelly, he's no stranger to the cold weather. How about Navy? A little pitch back and a throw to our line. It's intercepted. Navy tried a trick play and just beautifully played by Clarence Lewis, who picked it off. Kai Roas, the guy who threw the ball and floated it up there, and Clarence Lewis intercepts it.
This is a great play by Lewis. This is Lewis right here. That's where he's going to start, okay? You're going to see the handoff and then the motion as he communicates, and this player comes this way with our line now going down the sideline. Watch as Lewis tracks. He's got great vision, and then he's got vision on the football. Our line's going to score if that ball gets to him a little bit quicker, but how about Clarence Lewis? I mean, covering basically sideline to sideline and bailing out that defense. It is a perfect play call by Navy. Just a better play by Clarence Lewis.
Yeah, that was there for a big play.
Oh, my goodness.
But you got to give Lewis credit. So Notre Dame gets the ball right back after the missed field goal. Play fake, pressure, Pine got away. Drew Pine will keep it and get out of bounds. He made something out of nothing. Will Harbor was in the backfield again.
Seen that a little bit from Pine today. Watch, this pressure comes right up the inside. He's trying to hit the ball down the field. Doesn't have the time to get it out of his hands. Harbor makes contact with them. I also think those are some of those moments where the protection of quarterbacks, you know, kind of impacts how a defender's going to go hit him in the pocket.
I'm with you. Navy's already been flagged for one today, and Will Harbor looked like he just didn't want to hit Pine. So now on second down, Estime spins out of a tackle. Estime 20, and he'll run right through another Navy defender all the way down close to the 10, a 28-yard power run.
Just watch the power bounce off the tackle, and then the speed to split the defense. That's Estime's strength, man. This lower half that he has. 230-pounder. They call him the Hammer for a reason. When he gets his shoulder squares, he's big, he's young, he's best between the tackles. That plays the perfect example of why.
I think Notre Dame's very content to let some time wind off the clock here. After a huge sequence, Pine, fake pitch, Pine looking to throw. Now will keep, Pine slips a tackle. No signal, touchdown. Man, Drew Pine, what a play by the quarterback on the move.
Really good job by Pine. Gets out, realizes no one there, puts your foot in the ground near the sideline, little ole, and then find the front pylon. Drew Pine has been really good today. He's made some plays with his feet. You gotta love the decision making. His head coach Marcus Freeman certainly does.
3 plays, 41 yards. Pine with the rushing touchdown. And that last minute did not go well for Ken Niumatalolo.
Just you got to credit Clarence Lewis. Again, I love that play call out of Navy. I think it's a walk-in touchdown for our line. If he does not make that play, Clarence Lewis on the interception, and then, you know, credit. Notre Dame stayed on attack mode and punches it in.
Extra point up, and it is good. So the trick play that Navy called first play after the missed Notre Dame field goal. And as you said, I mean, it was there for a moment. I really did think it was going to be a huge play. And then Lewis came out of nowhere, and then Notre Dame, big run from Estime, Pine.
You see how he peeked, he tucked, and then he peeked again? Like, that's a good job of him on that perimeter, kind of remaining a passer, threatening the defense, making that defense make a decision. Is he going to throw it? Do we hang back, or is he going to run, and we got to go get him? So credit Drew Pine. He's been really good with his decision-making today. That stood out.
He's playing a really good game. 13 of 15, 3 touchdowns through the air, plus the 1 rushing touchdown. He made Tyler Fletcher just totally whiff on that tackle attempt. Clarence Lewis with the big interception that is looming large in this game. Still 2:19 on the clock. The return for Navy across the 20 by Haywood. So 2:12 or so. And the midshipman will get the ball back. Sunday NFL Countdown this week. All access inside the Cowboys exclusive number 88 club. You get one-on-one with Stephon Diggs of the Bills facing his former team, the Vikings, for the first time. Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Flem, that stretch for Navy is kind of indicative of their season. And Coach Niumatalolo's team, they played really good. They're 1 play away. If you think about it, the interception that's so close, the almost sack, the almost tackle for a loss for Estime. They're close. They play really hard. It's, in his eyes, you love that as their leader, but at some point you want that young group, this is a very young team, to make those plays in the biggest moments.
A straight ahead run for Fofana. Navy doesn't have a timeout. Tough to run a 2-minute offense when you're a triple option team. Notre Dame does have all 3 of their timeouts, so Marcus Freeman could have considered burning one there.
I would imagine if they get a stop here to get them into 3rd and 5, that's when Marcus Freeman pops a timeout.
2nd and 6 for our line and the Navy offense. Straight ahead run. Fofana, who's had some big gains on that play, got a yard there, and now Notre Dame does use their first timeout. Well, while we have a moment, this season Allstate celebrates every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, Allstate. Navy gets the ball to start the second half.
Yeah. If you're Navy right now, you're in a little bit of a unique situation. It's 3rd and 4, so with the clock, you naturally want to try to go get a first down. Do you put the ball in the air? Because Notre Dame still has 2 timeouts. So if you put the ball in the air and it's incomplete, you're giving them a really good opportunity in their 2-minute drive. If you run the ball and you don't pick it up, they're going to pop one of those timeouts. And again, they've got plenty of time. I think if you're Navy, you still lean on your triple option attack.
Let's see what Navy wants to do here. 3rd and 4. Our line will keep it and pitch it. The midshipmen are going backwards. The tackle for no gain or a loss. Haywood goes down, and now Notre Dame will use their 2nd timeout. 1:27 on the clock.
How ridiculous of a play is this from Benjamin Morrison, the true freshman who had the pick 6 last week against Clemson. Watch on the left side of your screen, okay? The receiver's going to go crack the safety. Now your corner, you have to go replace where that receiver was and make that open field tackle. We're talking about eye discipline. We're talking about knowing your rules. And then they have the ability to go make that open field tackle. Really good by that true freshman.
Michael Mayer's going to go to the NFL.
No doubt.
Be a star after this year. The next big star for Notre Dame might be Ben Morrison.
Absolutely. I mean, he's the Walter Camp Player of the Week last week. He had 2 picks, 1 for a return for 96 yards last week. He's a playmaker, not a vibrant personality, but a player who is consistently, he's gone from hey, teams are going to attack you, to compete, to now go make some plays.
We asked Notre Dame about Ben Morrison. That was the word Marcus Freeman said. He's silent. He doesn't say a word. The punt is blocked. Notre Dame gets another one. Another block punt, their 7th of the year. Incredible. They just keep doing it. Man, whatever Brian Mason does to draw these up, there's nobody better.
It's Kaiser. Watch on the right side of your scheme, number 24. Just lean in with the right and grab it with the big right paw. I don't know enough about special teams to break this one down, but they get into that attack mode, and then you're going to get this motion, and then watch. Bang, right there on that right side. They kind of create that one-on-one situation for Kaiser. Hey, how do we want to double team, or at least show the vision of double team, and you get that one-on-one opportunity for Jack Kaiser. He goes with the right hand. That's important. Don't go with the left. Blocks another one.
Well, just a remarkable series of events. Pine going deep over the middle. It's caught! Touchdown! Jaden Thomas. One of the best finishes to a half for a team that I can remember. These last couple minutes for the Irish.
They're going to take advantage of what we call quarters coverage. Everything is about attacking the safety who's got a deep zone in a quarter of the field. It's a beautiful job. That guy's responsibility is there. Now, a couple things stand out. First of all, Drew Pine is going to stare to his left to take the defense. And here comes Jaden Thomas. He's going to go post and go. Watch the safety drive on it right there. Now we've won. Go vertical. Beautiful job. I love the call by Tommy Reese to attack that coverage. Stay aggressive, Drew Pine's eyes, and the perfect throw down the field.
I can't even remember a sequence like that, and I can't remember anything like this either. The most block punts by far in college football. They've already set a modern record for block punts in a season in Notre Dame history. They just got their 7th.
They're trying to get that one-on-one for Kaiser. Again, that right hand is, I mean, that's coaching to me, Flem. You know, like that's beautiful coaching. You see Drew Pine peek to the left, and then look at this throw, man. You can't throw it better than that to Jaden Thomas.
That was good coverage.
Absolutely. It's a great play design. You're trying to attack that safety with that double move. You sell the inside post. That safety's got to drive and go over the top, but this is a well-coached football team in Notre Dame, man. It just really is.
Thomas, he's having a big first half. Kaiser's played well on defense, then got the big special teams play. It was 21-13 with 3:37 to go in the half. Wow. And Navy had the ball first and 10. And now it's 35-13 with 1:10 left in the half.
That's shocking. Notre Dame just stayed aggressive, made some big-time plays.
Truly. So the touchback, Navy will get the ball again. With still a minute 10 to go. UFC 281 tonight from Madison Square Garden. A stacked card, a couple of title fights. Adesanya and Esparza will defend their belts. Main card begins at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on pay-per-view. Prelims at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN News. ESPNplus.com/PPV to order the main card in English and in Spanish. Navy's got to be stunned. Our line will run the option and keep it and go down. Navy was playing a heck of a half, and they scored a couple possessions in a row. And now they're down 35-13.
And I'll go back to the Clarence Lewis interception. I mean, if he does not make that great awareness play, our line's going to have a walk-in touchdown. All of a sudden, the game potentially is 21-21, and we got a ball game. Again, credit Notre Dame. They were ready for every situation.
There's been a lot of big plays in this first half, but I think you're right. I think the play of the game was Clarence Lewis.
Yeah. Totally swung everything. You know, off the mist. It's a 14-point swing.
Marcus Freeman's team stepped on the gas pedal from there. Final seconds ticking off the clock here, and Navy's, I think Navy's going to be content, maybe run one more play, maybe not. And I think not. So that will be the final second of the first half. What a sequence to end the half. 35-13, Notre Dame heads to the locker room with the big lead. When we come back, Kevin and Booger will be by with the Capital One halftime report after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Domino's online.
This halftime report is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Take a look at today's Capital One fan vote. When we take a look at TCU's defense, much improved, has stepped up in a major way, especially in the second half of games. Boogie, they got Texas under the lights prime time on ABC tonight.
Love what they're doing. That's a shout out to the coaching staff. The ability in the second half to make the adjustments at halftime, come back out. We know the offense can score. We know Max Duggan can put up points. But can you get enough quality stops to give them the football? They do it in the second half.
The offense, by the way, the nation's best, averaging over 7 yards per play this season. They're 4-0 in comebacks in the second half. No one better with Sonny Dykes. Let's not forget Gary Patterson, the legendary head coach at TCU, on the other side now as a special assistant for Texas. This game will come down to what?
Veterans Week coverage on ESPN, brought to you by USAA.
And from Baltimore, Maryland, welcome back to ESPN College Football, presented by Arby's. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. Navy, Notre Dame, a rivalry that dates back a century. 35-13 as we start the third quarter. Dave Fleming, Dan Orlovsky, Chris Budden back with you. And Notre Dame, man, the sequence at the end of the first half was just crazy.
Play of the game, right? Clarence Lewis playing that top corner. They're going to go with a reverse pass if you're Navy. Wide receiver's going to catch that ball. They're going to leak the quarterback down the sideline. Watch where Clarence Lewis comes from. This is great awareness, understanding, rules, responsibility, and then playmaking. And then they have their special teams. Again, their 7th block punt of the year. That's Jack Kaiser with it. And then for Drew Pine, this offense, he's been really good. We saw this off of that blocked punt or the interception, the shot to Jaden Thomas down the field, a beautiful thrown ball, and then a little bit of the creativity down in the red zone. You fake the toss. Am I going to run? Am I going to throw? Now I'm back to run, make a guy miss on the sideline. I've been absolutely impressed by Drew Pine's decision-making with the football. He's really helped this offense play consistent.
You go back 15 years, only the second Notre Dame quarterback responsible for 5 touchdowns and a half, 1 rushing, 4 passing for Drew Pine, coming off a game where they just didn't need much out of him.
Yeah, he's been very good today, man.
So Marcus Freeman's team with a great finish to the first half. We start the second half. Navy will get the ball. Notre Dame kicks it deep. And the midshipman will return the kick. Haywood from the goal line will get hit and stop right around the 20. So Dave Fleming, Dan Orlovsky back with you here in Baltimore. Look, Notre Dame gets a lot of credit, Dan, for the way they finished that half of those big plays that they made. Pine was spectacular. Navy was right there. I think they were feeling real good about the way they were playing.
And that's probably the message in the locker room. You know, we played good football. We hurt ourselves a little bit. Credit Notre Dame for making some plays. You just got to get back to doing all the little things in the option, make Notre Dame stop it and prove that they can. And then defensively, they've got to have to find a way to make a play on third down. They're going to have to take the ball away, candidly, to get back in this game.
Well, Navy's offense had found some rhythm. Let's see if they can pick that up again. Our line will hand it off straight ahead. Daba Fofana with a short gain just a few moments ago down on the field. Here's Chris.
Coach, you guys really took control there before the half. What did you see out of your team that allowed for the 14-point swing?
Well, the ability to get a takeaway, that was huge. You know, we go in and we score after that takeaway, and then the punt block, which has been great for the past few weeks. They did a great job of getting their hands on the ball, and then our offense turned into points. So we ended the first half the way we wanted to. That middle weight's so important, so now we got to start the second half the right way.
Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, thank you, Chris, and thank you to Marcus Freeman. Fofana gets another carry, so right away it's going to be third down for the Navy offense. Last couple times Marcus Freeman's defenses have had a crack at this Navy triple option offense. They've done very well.
I think the big thing is you talk to Marcus Freeman about it, and he says really the key is you got to fly to the football. Your perimeter's got to be willing tacklers. You can't stand still, though, either. He always says teams try to play stands. You got to constantly move and pressure it a little bit and be disciplined, but pressure it.
3rd and 5. Our line will keep it. Xavier Arline gets stopped short. So now right away inside their own 30, a decision for Navy on 4th and 1. You're down 35-13. I know the field position doesn't dictate it, but I think the game situation dictates you got to go.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to come back punting the ball here. It's a yard. You've run the ball relatively efficiently today. You got to trust Xavier Arline as his decision-making to go run your option, read the unblocked defender, and see if you can go get this. But that takes a lot of discipline in this situation right now, Flem, too.
And they've also burned so much clock that they're going to have to use a timeout. Play clock was winding down. They hadn't even broken the huddle. We'll take a break with Navy. 35-13. Back right after this. All right, time to take a look at the Taco Bell Live Más student section. Student sections across the country are competing to be the Live Más student section of the year all season long. No student section quite like the Brigade of Midshipmen. An intruder. That's kind of embodies.
We could all get along.
And it's the spirit of this rivalry game. Really is.
I would not put my hand there.
Nope, even if it's pretend.
Nope. My luck.
All right, back after the timeout. It's 4th down. Navy has to get this. Our line's going to drop back to pass, and he throws, and it's going to be incomplete. Here comes a penalty flag, though. Now, Navy on 4th and 1 decided to throw the ball. The pass wasn't really very close, but there is a penalty. It's going to be a hold against the Irish.
Holding, defense number 2, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's DJ Brown again. You know, we saw that down in the red zone early in the first half. Just watch as he makes contact.
I think he grabbed a little bit of the jersey on the back.
Yeah, and I think a little bit of like that initial stunned contact is what the official sees.
Marcus Freeman's not buying it, though. Our line will keep it. Xavier Arlen, that's obviously a big penalty. It was going to be Notre Dame ball deep in Navy territory. Instead, the midshipmen keep the drive going.
You know this, yeah, you're right, he's not buying it, come on. Has there ever been a coach that had a flag thrown against this team that did buy it, though?
Yes, good call,
yeah.
Mr. Official. 2nd and 3 here. Handoff straight ahead. Big hit. Close, but stopped short of the first down. Well, Dan, you were talking about Marcus Freeman's history against this Navy offense.
Right.
That first, and he says 569. I will never, for the rest of my life, never forget that number.
He's got like a little bit of smile on his face when he talks about it. Also a little bit of pain in remembrance of it. But his defense ever since then, and Coach Niumatalolo kind of like has talked. T-Pool have tried to replicate it. They just can't. And I think it's Marcus's commitment to flying to the football schematically has been the big difference for them.
You practice, Niumatalolo. Good job. Pitch play on 3rd down, and Navy converts into Notre Dame territory. Gain of 10.
Really good job, right? You're going to get pressure off the edge right here. So what you're going to get is our line making a decision in that moment. See how quickly that happens? Now you got lead blockers out front to get that pitch. 3rd and 1. The defensive line is going to pitch. You again put the decision making in the quarterback's hands, and Xavier Arline does the right thing with the football.
Well, the offense is tough to stop. It was interesting on 1st down. Navy runs it straight ahead. You referenced it already. Marcus Freeman really totally changed his philosophy about defending this offense after that scarring experience. He said it was so lonely. I was looking for advice. What are we doing wrong? And there were no
one helped
answers.
him. Yeah,
Nobody was helping him.
He said the big thing is like everyone tries to stay still against it, and you almost go with the thought you have to be perfect. And he kind of changed his mindset to see that's not realistic. We got to be aggressive. They play a little bit of a triangle. They put extra safeties on the field. I mean, look how low they are to the football as well. They got everyone within 7 or 8 yards.
Our line, another pitch, this time left side, and a nice cut by Haywood inside the 35, and that's going to be another Navy first down.
I think part of it, too, is they play a legit man coverage. I mean, watch how Notre Dame defensively has to run sideline to sideline. Our line, that's the 3rd part of the option. Kaiser runs to the football, but you know, like you got to do a really good job of having your eyes in the right place defensively and knowing that they're going to get some of theirs. Your defensive line's got to stay balanced. It's a very good challenge for Notre Dame.
Clock continues to roll. A drive that's taken 5 minutes now. The penalty for the big conversion. Fofana, Notre Dame, you got to give them credit as the game has gone on. That was the big play. Just the straight fullback dive early in the game. They've adjusted.
Yeah, Flem, I think one of the things is their defensive line has started to pinch in. You know, not over-aggressive for Marcus Freeman's group, but pinch in. It's allowing the linebackers to play a little bit on the perimeter of the offensive tackles for Navy's offense. So Al Golden, their defensive coordinator, the defensive play caller, I think a little bit of the adjustment after that first couple series for Navy's been good.
And missing a couple of their top players on the defensive side of the ball, hoping that Brandon Joseph and J.D. Bertrand are both going to be back soon. Now Navy, Arline will keep. Arline got tripped up. I think he was thinking a chance for a big game, but Leofow with a nice tackle.
Man, what a great tackle by Leofow. Again, I'll say this, Navy right now, 4-down territory. You've got such a good drive going on right now. You're taking time off the clock. They play a little bit of like old school Big Ten basketball, so to speak. They wear the clock out. You don't get a ton of possessions. Everything matters for them with the score where it is. You're thinking 4-down territory.
And they just can't change who they are.
Correct, yeah, it is. They know who they are, right? Talent-wise and whatnot, and they've had a ton of success over a long period of time doing it.
So even if the score would dictate maybe a quicker tempo or throwing the ball more, they're just not equipped to do it. Now, Navy, did they have to burn another timeout? They did.
Before
that has been an issue.
Navy called their second timeout of the half.
That's the second one already on this drive. Timeout on the field in Baltimore. Back after this.
A breakfast croissant.
Well, Week 10 Monday Night Football will be in Philadelphia. What a stretch for that sports town. It's the Eagles and Washington. Jalen Hurts and company trying to stay undefeated. That's Monday, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN. ESPN Deportes, the ESPN app. Monday Night Countdown kicks off our coverage at 6 Eastern. What do we think? A chance?
I mean, there's a chance. I think the December 4th game against Tennessee is, I would say, their likeliest loss because Tennessee they've got a very specific style that they play. Obviously, the game against Dallas in Dallas on Christmas Eve is going to be a good matchup. They got a chance. I don't see it happening. Tennessee in the game at Dallas is the two hiccup potentials.
Well, there's a reason it's been a long time since the team went undefeated. Navy ball out of the timeout on 3rd down. Anton Hall, who limped off the field in the first half. Good to see him back out there. But he stopped well short, so it's 4th down, and Navy's got to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, you've taken 7 minutes off this clock. It's still a 3-possession game. You've got to be thinking, we've got to go be aggressive here. You need about 2.5 yards to go get your first down. Arline's been great with his decision-making.
First 4th down conversion on this drive. They threw the ball and got the penalty to keep the drive going.
They got clock again here. We're at 10 seconds right now on the play clock.
Yeah, you got to go. I don't know what is taking so long. They have a timeout left, but only one. They get to the line, and they got it snapped. They hand it off, and breaking free. Anton Hall gets the first down. Man, that looked like a disaster looming for Navy, and they convert.
You really run just like frontside G. Watch the left guard pull and kick out in a great cut by Haywood. I think the breaking the huddle late was actually strategic. They stay in the huddle as late as possible. They sprint to the line of scrimmage, get into a certain formation, quickly snap the ball, and you just catch Notre Dame off guard defensively. So I actually think that's a great job by Coach Niumatalolo of strategically using that huddle.
I take it all back. It was strategy.
Look at him. Look at him.
No sweat. First down, Navy, Arline, play fake, back to pass. Xavier Arline dancing around now, cannot get away. Well contained, but Notre Dame, I think, ripped the helmet off that. I think that's going to be a face mask penalty.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask. Defense number 8. The penalty is half the distance to the goal line. Automatic first down, and the player that lost his helmet will not have to leave the game due to the foul. First down.
That's the right call. I mean, Leofow running to the football. Good cut by Arline. Yep. And he knows it. You could see it right afterwards. Like, yeah. And tough play.
So that's a second very big penalty on this drive against the Notre Dame defense. Maybe trying somehow to maybe feel like they're back in the game. This will be the 15th play coming up. A couple of those wiped out by penalty. Pitch play on 1st and goal. Good pursuit from Notre Dame, and Navy loses a yard. TJ Brown, Xavier Watts.
You know, I talked about this is Xavier Watts, okay? Look where he starts and how he runs to the football. I think that's when you see that man coverage and you see Terrell go. You got to follow and fly. That's one of the things that I think stands out with this Marcus Freeman defense against this option is you might start on one side of the field. We saw it with the Clarence Lewis interception, but you got to fly to the other side of the field and be a replace in the alley tackler.
So 2nd and goal. We're under 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Notre Dame hadn't had the ball since halftime. Another straight ahead run, and again, well defended by the Irish. Fofana stacked up by Kaiser and company. So now it's going to be 3rd and goal from just inside the 10.
This is where it's such a unique situation, right? Because my natural football brain says you got to throw the football here. But that's not who you are, certainly in a condensed red zone area. You want to be aggressive. You got this long drive, so it's really about getting yourself into a better 4th down situation play call-wise if you're Navy.
Walking up under center, play clock down to 4. Arline gets the play snapped, the fake pitch. He is going to throw. Ball got tipped up in the air, knocked away, incomplete. Trying to hit the wide receiver Umbarger. Now it's 4th and goal, and Navy's going to send the field goal team out there.
And I think you have to now, given where you are, 4th and 9. It's going to go right off Umbarger's hands. It's a pretty good throw by Arline. Puts his foot in the ground, gives the big receiver at 6'1" a chance to go make that catch right through his hands. You know, I would have thought maybe try to go get 4 or 5 more yards and a better 4th down call. This now being so far away forces the field goal attempt.
Bijan Nichols trying his first field goal of the year. Kicking today for the first time, just 26 yards. He missed a point after try. Kick is up and it is good. 10-minute drive for Navy. And it ends with 3 points. All the festivities of this Navy-Notre Dame rivalry here in Baltimore.
More truck owners are switching to Ram.
All right, back here in Baltimore, Navy-Notre Dame, and it's time for our Aflac trivia question. Since 2004, which team leads the FBS in games won without completing a pass? Now, there has to be something to this, right? It can't be as obvious as the team in front of us. Can it? That's the trick part of the question.
This is the hardest one I've ever had because I feel like it's too obvious.
There aren't that many choices. Not many teams win a game without completing a pass. Let's go down on the field to Chris Budden.
Yesterday was Veterans Day, and Marcus Freeman's first phone call in the morning was to his father, Michael, to wish him a happy Veterans Day. Spent nearly 30 years in the Air Force. In fact, met Marcus's mom, Chong, while he was serving in South Korea. Marcus was born on an Air Force base in Fairborn, Ohio. When you talk to Coach Freeman about what it was like growing up, because we were up at 5 a.m. every morning, running in place while he worked out, and those things last. Like, Marcus still gets up 5 a.m. every morning just to go running.
Fun wasn't always the theme of the Freeman household when Marcus was a young man. Pine gets pressured and he goes down. The first offensive play of the second half for Notre Dame, and Colin Ramos gets the sack.
What Coach Freeman doesn't know is I actually secretly taped that conversation. I'm playing it for my kids. Really good job by pressure. Navy has been unapologetic about it, bringing constant pressure. You see John Marshall and Ramos in on the action there. This Navy defense has decided we're going to consistently blitz Notre Dame's offense. Notre Dame's usually been anticipatory and ready for it.
That's the 5th tackle for loss for Navy today. Now a run play on 2nd down. And that one's stuffed immediately. There's Biscuit. We get to say his name. Donald Berniard, who is in the middle of that Navy defensive line and really is a fun player.
Probably the smallest defensive tackle and/or nose guard in America. He's listed at 6 feet 256. He's probably a little bit under 250. Super quick defensive tackle for them. Really dynamic player. And defense coordinator Brian Newberry can't have too many biscuits. They've got enough.
You can't have all your players be that undersized, but if you find the right one, he's turned into one of their very best players. And 3rd and long for Notre Dame. Are they bringing pressure again? Sort of. Notre Dame's going to hand the ball off. So the Irish had to wait around. They had the long halftime.
Yeah.
Then Navy had a 10-minute drive. Notre Dame finally gets its offense back on the field to get sacked and go nowhere.
I think part of it, too, talks to that time in that play call by Tommy Reese, their play caller. There's no need for us. We're backed up a little bit. We're in 3rd and long to get a little bit careless and overly aggressive with our play call.
Or maybe something different.
I love that dude, man.
First punt of the game for the Irish. Penalty flags thrown. Maybe Notre Dame moved. I think they did.
False start. Offense, number 10. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
All right, so the special teams isn't 100% perfect.
How dare you guys get a penalty?
It's something else how good their special teams have been.
I know I don't want to dumb it down and simplify it, but they are a program, at least under Marcus Freeman, that they've committed to having their starters be a part of it. And I think that there's a tremendous amount of pride in that. And when your starters are on the field for another snap, those players are going to say, let's make it worth it, so to speak.
I think it's worth repeating what you said earlier. They make a point of telling their players, look, the team we're playing this week has 6 starters on special teams. We have 17.
Who does it matter to more? Yeah.
Who does it matter to more? Exactly right. Fair catch. Navy gets the ball back after forcing the first Notre Dame punt of the day. So that means we will ask and answer our Aflac trivia question. Aflac leads FBS since 2004. Games won without completing a pass.
I'm saying Navy. I'm saying Navy. I don't want to get beat up leaving here.
Me too. No.
I was literally going to say it, and I was like, I know there's that respect and rivalry, but.
Army, 8 wins since 2004. Navy, 7.
Was that Joe who figured out that question? I remember that one, Joe. At B.
The list wasn't long of possibilities.
Yeah, 50% or
yeah, we had a shot and we blew it. Upended Notre Dame. Nice play defensively there for the Irish. That's Ben Morrison again, man. This wasn't a game where we were really going to be able to properly spotlight him just because we knew Navy wasn't going to throw the ball.
Comes from a family of great athletes, though. You know, he's got sisters who play college sports. I believe there's 5 kids in the family that play collegiate sports, a couple volleyball, a couple gymnastics. We talked about early on teams were going after him. Then he started to compete for the football. Now, coming off of last week and certainly today, he's become one of their playmakers in their 11 defense.
Pitch play, Notre Dame right there. Excellent play defensively for the Irish. So now 3rd down for the midshipmen. Ramon Henderson, one of the defensive backs, got credit for the tackle. 3rd and 12.
Yeah, a little bit of that triangle defense that we talked about. Henderson, a big-bodied safety. You can really commit like your 4 or 5 guys, 6 guys with the linebackers to that internal run and have your safeties run the funnel to stop that run.
3rd and 12. An offense not really equipped for these kind of situations. Our line's going to hand it off. Notre Dame not fooled at all. Right there. Jordan Botello with the tackle. 4th down, and Navy, I assume, will punt. I think they will. That was not a 10-minute drive.
Really started with that Morrison tackle.
Did.
You get that offense who's so predicated on get us 3 or 4 yards, get us 3 or 4 yards, get them into 2nd and 12, then you can tee off a little bit more as a defense.
Final minute of the 3rd quarter. They get the punt off this time. No block for the Irish special teams. And I thought maybe returnable, but Matt Salerno got tackled immediately. So the Irish do get the ball back. 45 seconds on the clock, 3rd quarter. Saturday night football game presented by Capital One in the Big 12. A very important game. Not just in that conference, but nationally. Number 4 TCU, number 18 Texas tonight, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Right here on ABC, stream live on the app. Number 4 ranked team in the country. Sonny Dykes, his first year there. He's 4-0 against ranked opponents. They're scoring 43 a game.
My good, and Max Duggan is on a really big list right now for Heisman Trophy candidates, the way that he's quarterbacked that offense. Sonny Dykes has got a great offensive mind. You know, when you look at Texas, and Steve Sarkisian, their head coach. I honestly believe that Notre Dame needs to look at this just a little bit, if I'm just being dead honest. So if we were going to sit here and talk about Notre Dame as a whole, we'd say really good football team, got a ton of talent. When are they going to get their Quinn Ewers, who's the starting quarterback at Texas, went to Ohio State, transfers down, he's going to be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. I think that's where Marcus Freeman, if he could really put his stamp on Notre Dame, is go get that big-time talented quarterback.
Irish run the ball on second down, and obviously Notre Dame, with the score the way it is against this opponent, is going to be a little more conservative here in the second half. It's a question worth pondering, and we have some time to do that as we turn the page to quarter number 4. The Midshipmen and the Irish here from Baltimore. We'll be back for the fourth quarter after this message and a word from our ABC stations. All right, we're back here, ESPN College Football, presented by Arby's, part of Veterans Week on ABC, brought to you by USAA. If you come to Maryland,
how good does that look?
If you come to Maryland, get out the Old Bay, not Dungeness crabs, not king crabs, Chesapeake Bay blue crabs. You gotta have them. Those are big ones right there.
Yeah, so controversial take. I'm not an Old Bay person, but I do love crab and crab cake.
So those didn't look good to you?
They did.
Ball tipped up in the air and intercepted. I think it was John Marshall who came up with it. A tip ball interception on the first play of the fourth quarter. And who knows, maybe Navy can find their way back in this game.
And they're going to bring corner pressure off the right side. He gets his hands up to pop the ball in the air. Marshall finds it. Man, what a turn of events for Navy's defense. They bring a corner pressure. You always teach pressure guys. If you're not going to get home, still see if you can impact the play. The defensive back gets his hands in the air. Ball goes up. Turnover for Navy's defense.
Well, so Marcus Freeman, I mean, look, I think Notre Dame was feeling pretty comfortable in this game, but they haven't scored in the second half. They only had it one time plus then that possession. And now Navy in great field position, going to try to get closer. Our line's going to throw to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Mark Walker. 23 yards. It took him one play. And they are closer. Wow. 35-22. They're keeping the offense on the field to go for 2. Maybe not as dramatic as we had that sequence at the end of the second quarter, but this is a turnaround here these last couple plays.
Massive. I mean, the way that they've controlled the second half has been huge. And you come out, you get the turnover, you stay aggressive on offense. Our line with a beautiful throw, and now you got a chance to cut it to a 11-point game.
Our line's going to throw. No, he's going to take off. Our line stretches, and he got there. So the two-point conversion is good. I did not see this coming.
What a chain of events for Navy. Credit the defense. They come with the pressure. Ball gets popped up in the air. Their big-time linebacker, John Marshall, the senior, gets the interception. Then our line to Mark Walker. Stay aggressive on offense and then put the ball in your best player's hands. Quarterback draw. Find a way, Xavier. Our line. Navy right back in it in Baltimore.
Newest thing.
Kevin and Boog back in studio in Fayetteville. How about Arkansas, Boog? No KJ Jefferson, Cade Fortin, and Matt Landers.
Yeah, LSU brings the blitz, gets burned, Kev. Arkansas on their third quarterback also.
Number 7 LSU only up by 3 early in the fourth over on ESPN. How about that? Less than an hour away at the Big House. Flavor Flav's there.
No need to be out in the snow.
Clearly, Flavor Flav. The clock is a little bit smaller than the ones we've seen in the past there. Back to you, Dave and Dan.
He didn't call Booger to ask for advice. Should he show up?
Smartest thing he's done in his life.
Wow, what a turn of events here. We've had so many swings. A short kick, and Estime is going to field it as the up man, and he breaks a tackle. Well, the short kick did not work the way Navy wanted it to, thanks to the extra effort for Estime.
Let's go back to the touchdown. Okay, so this is Mark Walker. He's going to run a post, but I want everyone to pay attention to Vincent Terrell. As he arc releases, we call that getting into the contrail. See how he's stacked behind? These defenders are going to pass that off. When you get stacked right there, you cause confusion. That's what allows Walker to break in and win on that post. It's all about the release by Vincent Terrell. Really good job. Confusion by Notre Dame's coverage. And that equals that huge touchdown for Navy's offense.
So now Notre Dame's offense, good field position, but they got to get it revved up again. Pine takes a hit, and it's incomplete. Incomplete, trying to hit Michael Mayer, and he almost had him.
And he talked about a little bit of pressure affecting Drew Pine, because this is a great play call and design. You clear out with the post, watch Mayer on the right side. A little shot from Drew Pine just out of his extended arms. A little bit, and you can see the frustration, just a little bit of a missed opportunity for Michael Mayer, who only has 2 catches on the day.
That was a touchdown waiting to happen. Instead, an incompletion, 2nd and 10 from midfield for an Irish offense that's hardly run any plays in the second half. Pine is going to go down. So the pressure's starting to get to the Notre Dame quarterback, this time Clay Cromwell. The whole feel of the game has changed.
Here comes all-out pressure again. Marshall, Cromwell, everybody. They're playing zero coverage. Everybody's playing man. If you're not, you're blitzing. Drew Pine doesn't see it. And now another 3rd and long. The real story is, in the first half, Notre Dame converted them all. Second half so far, when they've had the ball, they just haven't been able to.
3rd and 15 for the Irish.
Drop 8 coverage. You got to use your eyes, Drew Pine. Right? You got to figure out a window and manipulate defenders.
Get the play snapped. Pine looking, throwing. He's got his man complete. Notre Dame first down into Navy territory. Another excellent job by the quarterback, Drew Pine.
It's a great job. It's that dagger concept we talked about. Watch the shallow cross. That's Michael Mayer. You're trying to get that 2nd level defender to step up. Navy obliges. You ripped it in right behind.
Just well done. Those plays have been huge today.
Yeah, and they're simple plays for us quarterbacks to execute as long as you know who you're trying to use.
21 yards to Dion Colsey. A big conversion for the Irish. Pine's going to throw on 1st down, and Pine's going to get sacked again. Ramos, John Marshall was in there.
Drew Pine, they're blitzing you, bud. You got to get the ball out of your hands. You don't have enough people to protect. They've got one more. That's the added-on blitzer right there, Ramos. So offensively, Tommy Rees is saying, hey, they're pressuring us. Let's get out of your hands. I'm giving you options. He's got to see it and allow those guys as playmakers to get yards after the catch.
Loss of 7. That's the 3rd Navy sack.
There it is, the difference in the blitz protection.
Handoff, draw play on 2nd and long. Navy was ready for that one. Gain of maybe a couple yards for Chris Tyree. So here we go again.
And so if you're Tommy Rees right now, another 3rd and long situation, you're up by 11. You're on fringe field goal. You've got a missed field goal opportunity already. So are you trying to go get 6 or 7 yards, not cause a mistake and get a field goal attempt? Or do you trust that Drew Pine, who's had some really big 3rd down conversions today, is going to see the defense the right way? Here comes pressure. You got to handle it. There it comes, see? Pressure from each. Now Drew Pine's got to communicate. Where's your one-on-one? Get it out of your hands.
Pine with the pressure. Oh, and he goes down. Ramos again. They're going to say ball down, even though Navy thought they came up with it. Another big loss and another Navy sack.
You're just going to watch here. Everybody's going to come off that edge. Now, you've got to protect it at this moment. You don't have this guy blocked. Get the ball to your hands right now to the shallow cross if you're Drew Pine and live to see another day. His mindset right now, Flem, is like, I want to hit the big play. That's not the situation right now, young guy, right? Get it out of your hands. Allow a shallow cross to make one guy miss and create a big play. Credit Navy. They've been unapologetic. We're coming all afternoon.
And they're finally getting to Pine, and you're exactly right. Now,
offense. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
There's really 2 philosophies as an offense when you're dealing with teams that are going to pressure you. Do we want to try and get it out and survive, or block them up and hurt them? In Notre Dame, at least, that quarterback Drew Pine, they've tried to think that they can block them up and hurt them. They haven't been able to. You got to transition to get it out and survive.
phone calls have become a thing for
Those are
Notre
probably
Dame.
animated.
That one was pretty tame comparatively. This was a 35-13 game at halftime. Navy's going to get the ball back here. Not great field position, but penalty flag down. They're down 11. They've got 11 minutes to go. See who the penalty's against. I think it's against the Irish. So Navy's got a choice here.
So are they trying to determine where the yards are going to get tacked on?
Illegal formation by the defense. The defense was over the center. Penalties declined.
Gotcha.
First down.
Okay, so it wasn't against Notre Dame. It was against Navy.
The pressure for Navy's defense has been the story. They're coming after Notre Dame offensively, create a bunch of big sacks. Marcus Freeman is frustrated right now with the performance of his team in the second half.
College football on ABC is presented by Arby's. Arby's, we have the meats. And in part by Dave & Buster's. Eat and Play Combo is back, starting at only $19.99.
Well, pretty cool. Some of the shots from this rivalry over the years, last century. Soldier Field, Baltimore Stadium, Cleveland Municipal, the old-timey game program. These teams are playing for the 95th time, Navy and Notre Dame. And if you were with us through halftime and thought, this one's not going to have a lot of drama, we've got a little drama.
My friend. Yeah, exactly what we dialed up.
Now, not great field position for Navy. They're going to throw on first down. Our line will not get away. So the Notre Dame defense comes up with a sack. Let's go down to Chris.
Guys, this is a Navy sideline that really has not even showed any frustration when things weren't going their way towards the end of the first half. Ken Niumatalolo telling us they don't practice like a 3-6 team. They've got heart, they've got fight. And I spoke to some seniors this week. This is an incredibly close class. They've lost more than 30 members from that team since they started their freshman year because of everything they've gone through, and they want to finish this thing with a bowl game.
You could argue that no team program was impacted more by COVID than this Navy team. Still a couple years later feeling the effects of that. Our line with a nice gain on the keeper on second and long. But Xavier Arline, that doesn't look good. Left ankle already taped up. He's played well. Navy needs him. We might see Masai Maynard come into the game. We'll hope our line's okay. Well, Navy's starting quarterback Xavier Arline is really playing a heck of a game today. At the end of this play, ouch.
Man. Went out against Cincinnati last week and dealt with some cramps. You saw that frustration. You see a little bit of emotion on his face right there. Turn to Masai Maynard.
Yeah, the backup quarterback in on 3rd and 7. Maynard's going to roll out and look to throw. He will throw. It is incomplete. Off the fingertips of Haywood. So close, but incomplete. It's 4th down.
You know, Maynard showed well last week versus Cincinnati throwing the football. They get him on the rollout. He throws the deep corner route. Got away with the potential flag there with the shot to the head. Notre Dame defensively, it's right in Haywood's hands.
Yeah, Haywood's a tailback. If that's a wide receiver,
he's their most talented runner. Haywood, as far as like those wingbacks, Terrell's probably a little bit more of a pass catching threat.
So Notre Dame's defense comes up with a big stop. Under 10 minutes to go. The momentum of this game had really changed. Now the punt. You're so paranoid about getting a punt blocked against Notre Dame. It's hard to get off a real good punt. The Irish offense will come back on the field. 9:36 on the clock. Well, let's take a look at the All-State Playoff Predictor. Top 10 teams' percentages of making the college football playoffs. What do you think? Georgia seems like almost a lock. Ohio State in great position.
I think the winner, Ohio State, Michigan, is a lock. Depending on how that game goes, though, you sit there and go, can both of those get in? Because Tennessee's in a dogfight right now with Missouri. Clemson's, they're not out, but they've got to have a lot of things happen their way. Alabama, TCU's undefeated. I don't think Alabama's got a chance, but Georgia seems like a lock.
The number feels high to me. That's Mayer, Michael Mayer. Little juggle on the catch, then leaps over a defensive player. They get a nice gain on first down. It's been a relatively quiet day for one of the great tight ends in college football. Notre Dame had 35 at halftime. They have not scored in the second half.
It seems like Notre Dame wants to be a little bit more clock conscious right now as they're trying to wind down a little bit of the play clock as well, snapping under 15 seconds. We saw a little bit of this last week versus Clemson. That muddle, huddle, let the clock wind down, break it, and snap.
Pine gets the snap. Estime chugs forward. Stopped a couple yards short. Well, if you're thinking like the Notre Dame head coach, you got the backup quarterback now in for Navy. It's not a hurry-up style
Great
offense.
Point. Yep, great point.
Under 9 minutes to go. You're up 2 scores.
You're reeling just a little bit, Navy's got a little bit of momentum.
You almost feel like, let's just get out of here.
Sure.
The way this second half is going, that's pretty amazing.
You got to tip your hat to Navy and what they've done defensively.
3rd and 2 here. Diggs in the backfield. Diggs got tackled right as he took the handoff. Man, Navy almost took the handoff themselves. Rayon Lane, nice play.
Now, Rayon Lane's a young superstar. This is him coming off the edge right now. See as that ball is going to get snapped, triggers it, and goes right after it. Notre Dame absolutely should punt this football away. You talked about Masai Maynard, the backup quarterback in for Navy. Let's force Navy's offense, and somewhat through the air, at least with their backup quarterback, to go the length of the field. I cannot say enough about Navy's defense, man. It has been a impressive second half.
I agree. Short punt here with the fair catch at about the 13-yard line. So Navy gets the ball right back. 7:32 to go. Down 11 against Notre Dame. The AAC on ESPN Plus. Featured upcoming events. You got the men's soccer championship final tomorrow. Memphis and North Alabama. College football next Saturday afternoon. Every Thursday 4 Eastern. The show All-American focuses on football, but also highlights all the other fall sports. If you're an AAC fan of the American, gotta have it. ESPNplus.com/AAC. All right, the mascot calm right now. Hoping to have something more to kick his hooves about. Masai Maynard down the right sideline, and a penalty flag is thrown. 2 of them, in fact. You can be physical, you can't be that physical. Houston Griffith gets flagged. Terrell out of the backfield was the intended target.
Pass interference, defense number 3, automatic first down.
They're trying to get Terrell on a little bit of a rail route. Saw the ball to Haywood before. Griffith playing man-to-man coverage.
Yeah.
I'll say this, well done by Vincent Terrell.
I think Terrell definitely aided in getting that flag call.
It's fascinating to watch this right now because if you're Notre Dame defensively, you have had a very specific style of defense for the majority of this game. Now Masai Maynard comes in, he's much more of a thrower. How do they change philosophically?
He drops back to pass, and he will now take off, takes a big hit as he tried to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he did. Let's go down to Chris.
Xavier Arline out of the medical tent dealing with an ankle injury. They wrapped it, took some pain medication. He's been testing it on the sidelines, trying to convince the training staff that he's good enough to go back in.
Well, he was playing arguably the best game he's ever played.
Yeah, against a big-time opponent.
Masai Maynard, who is more, there's no pure passer in this offense,
sure,
but he is a little bit more of a thrower, less experience running the option. He's going to run the option here, and he goes down. Notre Dame swarms him. Gabriel Rubio, the redshirt freshman from St. Louis.
Yeah, it's Rubio, a little bit of Collie early on. You see Prince Collie right there shoot through the B gap in between the guard and the tackle, and he gets that initial contact, and then Rubio finish it. Now there's Xavier Arline, obviously an incredible competitor, as tough as they come. And if you're Navy offensively, you're in the situation where here it comes, an obvious passing moment.
Play clock winding down here for Navy. And the game clock winding as well. Navy will try to get lined up here. They get the play snapped. Here comes some pressure. Maynard throws, and it's incomplete. And he took a big hit. I think it was Rubio again, intended for Walker. It's 4th down.
I think if you're Navy, you got to punt this ball. I mean, it's 4th and forever.
You only have 1 timeout left. Now you're under 6 minutes to go, but 4th and 14.
It's tough. It's a tough situation for a backup quarterback. It's not necessarily your style of offense, but their defense has played really good. They've controlled the second half. Can they find a way to get a stop? Get the ball back to Masai Maynard in their offense.
Amazing that we've gotten to the point where it feels like now Notre Dame's just trying to get out of here with a win.
Oh, absolutely.
Reithman punts it, and no fair catch signal. The big hit, that's a mistake on special teams. You got to fair catch that. But he held onto the ball. That's Lane with the special teams tackle. Notre Dame's special teams so good. This was a really nice play by Navy's special teams unit.
Okay, we'd open with...
All right, coming up later tonight in Austin, Texas in the Big 12. Huge game presented by Capital One. Number 4 TCU. Number 18 Texas, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. On ABC, it'll stream on the ESPN app. Texas beat Kansas State last week. They control their own destiny to get to that Big 12 championship game. All right, Notre Dame's going to throw the ball, and Pine gets hit from behind. Another sack for Navy's defense, and it's Rayon Lane.
It's the same story. I mean, they're taking their shot. It's a touchdown if Drew Pine just throws the ball. All-out pressure. You've got 9 guys blocking. Get it out of your hands. Once you get that first hitch, Flem, like the ball's just got to go up, and you got to take your shot to Braden Lindsey. Defensive coordinator Brian Newberry's been very aggressive. One of the better beards you'll ever see in America. They've been aggressive, and Drew Pine just has not answered when it comes to knowing what to do when Navy has decided to come after him.
They've stuck with that pressure, and it's working. 5 sacks in the second half. Handed off now, and that'll be Diggs, who goes absolutely nowhere. Deshaun Peel, and now he's hurt. Peel down on the field, grabbing that left ankle. His helmet went flying off. Big injuries here late in the game for Navy. Deshaun Peel, the sophomore. So they'll check on him. Obviously a lot of pain there with that left ankle, maybe both legs. All right, we have a minute. Our college football playoff rankings brought to you by Verbo. Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU, the top 4 this week. Tennessee was tested number 5 just outside by Missouri early, but they've started to pull away.
They pulled away, huh? They scored a bunch in a short period of time.
And LSU, a lot of talk this week about could LSU find a way with 2 losses after taking down Alabama. First things first, they got to beat Arkansas. They're only up 3.
I think Notre Dame fans are looking at that number 8 ranking right underneath LSU, that USC football team that, well, what's their 1 loss? It's 1 point to Utah, if I'm correct.
Yep.
I think their quarterback's an absolute superstar. And right now, if this game stays to where it is, you're looking at that game for Notre Dame on the road Thanksgiving weekend. Whew, that's a lot on the line for both.
Yeah, 1 more before that for Notre Dame with Boston College. So now 3rd and 17. Navy did have to use their final timeout, so they didn't have a runoff. So they use their timeout. Pine will throw it, quick hitter out to the left side, and the open field tackle for Navy. Lorenzo Stiles with the catch and run, well short, and Notre Dame's going to punt the ball back to the midshipmen. Another stop for the Navy defense.
Yeah, it's been all about the pressure, and it's really important for Notre Dame right now to situationally be good. You don't want to punt this football till under 3 to 5 seconds on the play clock. Take everything you can off that game clock and leave as little time as possible for Navy.
That is such a different story. First half, Notre Dame got everything they wanted on offense. Second half, almost nothing. Booming high punt. Another fair catch. Brilliant punt by John Sott. So the Navy offense back on the field, only 4:18 to go, down 11. Let's check in studio with Kevin.
Dave, let's take a look at the early windows, some closing games right now. LSU trying to hold on with 4 minutes to go over on ESPN. Right now, 28-21, Purdue just took the lead against Illinois over on ESPN2. SMU in control against USF on ESPNU. But how about Vandy? 36 seconds left, up 24-21 against number 24 Kentucky on the SEC network. Vandy has lost 26 straight SEC games. Looking to snap that streak. Back to you.
Wow. Wow.
Navy throwing the ball on first down and completing the pass to Mark Walker, who spins and gets out of bounds after a midshipman first down. Let's go down to Chris.
Dave, Xavier Arline's not going to be able to go back in dealing with an ankle injury, but he went up to his offensive line when talking about backup Maynor. Say, protect him at all costs. That's all I'm asking you. Just protect him at all costs.
Clock moving, no timeouts for Navy, under 4 minutes to play. Well, if you can get down and score, you at least have a chance for an onside kick.
Oh, sure.
Before the snap, Notre Dame, first of this half.
I think that's
30-second timeout.
Really smart timeout by Notre Dame, because Notre Dame looked like had their option offense personnel out there, and Navy is not in option offense mode. They're a little bit traditional spread out 2-by-2. They're going to throw the ball, so it's really good by Notre Dame after that first down snap. Let's call the timeout. Let's get the right people on the field. Also, let's talk to our defenses. They got to switch their mindset about how they're going to play this Navy offense.
So the short timeout, Drew Pine and the Notre Dame offense stymied in the second half. Masai Maynor now has taken over, the senior from North Brunswick, New Jersey.
Now you're thinking, who are the guys that he trusts as pass catchers? You know, Walker's had a really good afternoon. Jaden Umbarger is probably their most reliable receiver. So those two guys, 80 and 87, got to get the ball.
Navy needs a miracle now. They will hand it off. Fofana will get outside the 30. I think that's smart play calling. Get some chunk yardage.
How cool is Fofana, man? He's had a great afternoon. He's got 133 yards rushing. He plays the cello. He wants to grow up to be a doctor. And he's a sophomore. Talk about making you feel bad.
He's a physics major with a 3.85 GPA also, just on top of that.
Thanks for that one, Bob.
Yeah.
False start, offense, number 75, 5-yard penalty, second down.
I mean, one of the fun parts about doing Navy football is, I mean, it's not just Fofana, although maybe he stands out in some different ways, but you could go down the line with all these young men.
And what did their defensive coordinator, Brian Newberry, and Coach Niamatalolo, like, talked about how great their kids are, like how great that their kids are to go to work with every day.
Maynor, keeper, Maynor kind of stumbling, and he'll get the first down. So the clock's going to stop momentarily. Brian Newberry's had a chance to take another job. Ken Niamatalolo has interviewed for some other jobs. It's hard to lead.
Yeah, what did Coach say? He said, you know, every day he drives in by himself. He clears his mind a little bit, doesn't want to live in the bubble of coaching. He talked about how it's a ruthless profession. He knows a lot of guys who have potentially left other places. They're no longer coaching anywhere.
False start, offense, number 68, early, first down.
There's just a lot of gratitude from those two coaches and everybody around the Navy program for the chance to work with this group of young men.
And they even talked about how they're 3-6. You can see Coach getting frustrated with our timing right now and our urgency on offense. 3-6, but they don't practice like it.
Gotta have more urgency. Maynor will go down. Maybe they're just not built for this kind of scenario.
I mean, how different has this offense looked like since our line went out? And you talked about it, that's not who they are. They're built to run their style of offense. So it's a big ask right now for everybody on their offensive unit.
232 rushing yards for Navy today. Maynor, again, nowhere to go with the ball. Finally will throw it, and he zips one in there. That's caught outside the 45. Terrell. First down. Again, that temporarily stops the clock. 2:11 to go.
And think about this isn't a team that lives in 2-minute situations and practice a lot. So it's really important for them. Masai, you got to get the ball to your hands. If you catch the ball in between the numbers, get vertical. If you catch it outside the numbers, that's when you want to get out of bounds.
Maynor will throw right sideline. That pass is caught. Penalty flag in the middle of the field. Now a penalty flag behind the play. I think 2 different penalties called on that play. Umbarger made the catch.
I think you're going to get a holding on the defense and then maybe like a low block, chop block on offense.
There are 2 fouls on the play, 1 on each team. Holding by the defense, number 11. Personal foul, chop block, number 45. 73 on the offense. Fouls will all set. First down.
Well, for Notre Dame, even just an extra play is a good thing as they try to finish off a win against Navy. Deshaun Peel, another bright spot, good young player for Navy, and he's going on the cart. It's been a costly day for the midshipmen. 4 receivers. Don't see this very much. Pressure comes. Maynor got away. Throws one down the sideline. Kind of a jump ball, incomplete. Trying to hit Walker. Cam Hart with the coverage.
I think if you're Masai Maynor, as Xavier Arline looks on, like as much as you can use your feet to try and go create some offense right now, like you're not a quarterback that really lives in this rhythm and timing. So if you can move in the pocket a little bit, almost like you did on that 3rd down, scramble and throw, get the defense to commit and try to throw the ball behind them, that's probably your best chance for some success.
More of the option look here. Maynor throws. That one will be caught by Rojas. He steps out of bounds to stop the clock. Short of a first down, but into Notre Dame territory. Navy still has a chance. They are still not totally finished here. They haven't given up a point in the second half. Marcus Freeman's team has 16 yards total since halftime.
It's been a full effort from them as well. Their defense has been incredible. And you know, they had that massive drive to start the second half, but it's really been because of their D.
Maynor under center, handoff, straight ahead run, and across the 40, down inside the 35. Another first down. That's Anton Hall.
Yeah, get to the line of scrimmage if you're Navy and clock the football.
So that's what they'll do. They stop the clock. That's smart. 1:35 to go. For a team that almost never has to do this.
Hasn't been bad, right?
They've actually executed, I think, pretty well.
And they're doing it with their backup quarterback. Now, granted, Maynor's a little bit of a better thrower or a little bit more natural thrower than Xavier Arline, but they've really been good in these situations. Notre Dame had 12 men on the field, so they gained an extra 5 yards. Everything right now is no short completion, and you can't take a sack if you're Masai Maynor. That doesn't help. Time right now is everything.
Well, what'd you say about the midshipmen? They don't quit.
Never, man. It's so inspiring to watch.
Maynor hands it off and trying to break through a tackle down to the 20. That's Hall again.
Clock it.
Did they spot him for a first down? They did. So now you can clock it. That's exactly what they do. I think some seconds ticked away there that maybe shouldn't have. That was a first down. The clock didn't seem to me to stop. I mean, Notre Dame backed up here now with their defense. This thing could get stressful in a minute.
You know what I'm liking right now is Notre Dame defensively has obviously said we're going to play coverage, as they should. And so Navy's actually reverted back to a little bit more of running the football. If Notre Dame is going to play 8 guys back and only 3 defensive linemen and make sure that the ball doesn't go over their heads, they can continue to pound that fullback dive that's had a little bit of success here.
I mean, again, you're in a spot where it's going to take something remarkable to actually pull off a win.
Sure.
This is what we were talking about. So the clock starts when the play begins. You get the first down. The clock's supposed to stop right there. Okay, like 1:30, maybe 1:29.
Sure. There's an extra what? 7-8 seconds that pull off the clock.
Yeah. Then you reset when everybody's ready to go, and maybe a second or two goes on. That might be a play for Navy.
You got to remember, if you're Navy right now, you're also in field goal range. So you're not living in 4-down mandatory territory, because if you knock a field goal in and you get the onside kick, at least you have that chance to get that second possession and throw a couple Hail Marys.
The previous play is under further review.
Okay. Now we're going to review it. Are we reviewing the clock issue? (35-24), a minute 23 to go. It was 35-13 at halftime, Notre Dame. I mean, since we have just a minute here, Dan, I mean, is it worth asking the question? All right, Notre Dame, the feeling this year has been playing up and down to the level of competition. What's the feeling coming out of this one, assuming they do hang on and beat Navy?
I think you always go into these games cautious because of the style of offense. You know, like it's the only time you ever see it, and it's a very difficult offense to stop. So you always go into these games just fingers crossed that you can get out. And Notre Dame felt great the way that they started the football game offensively. They had that late run in the first half that gained that big lead. I honestly don't feel bad if I'm Notre Dame. I'm more like impressed with Navy, candidly. I think you're a little bit discouraged with the way that Drew Pine has handled the pressure.
There was different downs on the down markers, so we're correcting that. It's second down. Game clock operator, let's put 1:28 on the game clock, and the clock will start on the snap.
Okay, trying to get all the details right here. I think it's well said. I mean, you got Navy. Not only did they not quit, they did some good things defensively. They made some big plays on offense. They actually used their passing game.
They've run for over 250 yards. They're going to throw for almost 100. We'll see how these next couple of plays go. The fact that they're still right here in this football game with a chance, you tip your hat to them.
Bill the Goats grinding out some film study on the sideline.
I want to know why it's not Billy.
Not Billy, just Bill.
William. I want to get the mouthpiece inside.
He hadn't had it in the whole time. He's been playing with it stuck in his helmet the whole time.
That's the first time I've seen it in the top of the helmet.
I think it's been there the whole time. It's not supposed to be there. All right, are we ready to go? Marcus Freeman's still talking. All right, there's the real deal. Nonplussed by the whole situation.
So are what is it, 2nd and 1 or 2nd and 10?
Should be 2nd
and 10 because they clocked the ball, right? But they got the down and distance marker 1 yard away from where the ball's getting snapped.
Unless they're saying, so now they're saying,
right?
Yes. Yes, they clearly got a first down. I mean, I think that's what Marcus Freeman's going. It should be 2nd and 10. How could we have a whole review and look at it? So now he's saying 3rd down. Oh boy.
They clearly got the first down. They got to the line of scrimmage and clocked the football.
Correct.
It should be 2nd and 10.
Yeah. Now we're saying 3rd and 1. Huh? Maybe I'm missing something.
All right. The play is going to be reviewed once again because there is a different opinion on downs. We're going to correct it.
It's second. If anybody wants to ask us, it's 2nd and 10. And the clock should start when the play begins because they clocked it. That was the whole point of running up to the line of scrimmage and clocking the ball.
All right, so that's like 2nd and 6 right here, right? He clearly gets
easily
4 or 5 yards past that yellow line, which again, they can't see on the field. We see it at home. So then here becomes the first down snap right now. You can see it up top. The down and distance marker does not move.
Yeah.
Unless that yellow line is incorrect.
That would be the one thing that maybe we.
And I don't believe that
put the
down and distance is an opinionated thing, right? It's
there's a difference of opinion as to what down it is. Okay.
Because here's the reality too. If you're Navy, you wouldn't have clocked the ball if you were 3rd and 1.
What do we think?
The ball will be placed at the 20-yard line. It's 2nd and 10.
All right, Riley, we got it.
Pretty happy about being right on that one.
We got it.
I started to doubt it.
Well, you just start to think, how could we possibly be missing what's going on here?
Yep.
Well, okay, let's 2nd and not 1, 10. Let's get that distance marker spotted correctly.
There we go.
1:28 left in the game.
All right, Notre Dame is lined up to play the option. Navy lined up to execute it.
Maynard's going to drop back though. Pressure picked up. Maynard throws end zone and it's caught! Touchdown! Haywood! Navy will go for 2. After all that waiting, Navy came up with a heck of a play. Masai Maynard's touchdown pass.
Look at Haywood. Lines up in the backfield, runs a little bit of a wheel route. Masai Maynard throws a beautiful pass, and Haywood goes down to secure the catch. His elbows get underneath here. Yeah, it looks like he's got that safe pin to his chest. My goodness, what a performance by Navy.
Wow, now a chance to cut it to 3, to where if you could recover a kick, you'd only need a field goal to get to overtime. A pitch play, and they got there! The conversion for Terrell. Notre Dame's thinking, what is going on?
So is he.
35-32, still a minute 21 to go. And now Notre Dame, all that talk about their special teams, they're going to have to lean on their special teams to come up with the ball.
This is one of the coolest environments I've been in since I've been doing this job. Can't say enough about Navy.
An inspiring performance for the midshipmen.
A little bit of two-pointer, you get a triple option out of the gun essentially. And Terrell runs right through that arm tackle and gets to the front pylon. What an incredible performance by Navy. Have never given up, have stayed as disciplined as they can. They have fought, man. Their backup quarterback comes in. Their defense has played incredible. And now they got a chance. This is awesome.
It comes down to this. They don't have a timeout. And they've done this at the end without their starting quarterback. They don't have a timeout, so if they don't recover, the game's going to be over. Brian Mason getting his special teams hands unit lined up. Daniel Davies, the onside kicker for Navy. They'll bunch together. And here we go. The little dribbler in Notre Dame was ready for that one. So the Irish come up with the ball, and that, for Brian Mason and the special teams unit, will save the game for Notre Dame. The Irish are going to get out of here with a win.
Oh, great play by Salerno, man. Don't wait on it. Go get it. Watch 29 from the right side of your screen. Just burst through, catch that first pop.
Yeah, well done.
What an awesome game, man. This is when college football is at its absolute best, man.
Two teams that played so hard. Everything went right for Notre Dame, especially at the end of the first half. And in the second half, it's been the midshipmen who got all the way to within 3. Notre Dame is going to get their 4th win in a row. They'll be 7-3.
He knows. You just got to take a deep breath if you're Marcus Freeman and say, thank God we got out of there. If you're Navy, man, so close, but did so many great things. There is nothing that you should be disappointed about, to hang your head about. I know it's easy for me to say, but that's as inspired a performance that I think I've seen in college football.
It sounds corny almost, but that's what college football is supposed to be about.
Man.
What those midshipmen did in the second half, when they were out of the game, it was over.
Totally.
That will be the final snap, and Marcus Freeman has beaten Navy. It was not at all easy. Not at all. One guy just getting his head coaching journey started. Another guy who's been around for so many wins. And Navy and Kendi Matalolo almost got another one, but Marcus Freeman and the Irish get the win. Marcus is down with Chris.
Coach, we talked at halftime about the guys needing to come out with heart and energy. How would you recap the second half of this game?
Obviously not what you want. Man, you got to continue to tell yourself it's so hard to win and to appreciate it. We didn't finish the way we wanted to. Thankfully, we're able to come out with a victory, so we got to get some things cleaned up on both sides of the ball, but we'll take a victory. That's most important.
You talked with this team about staying in the middle, not being too high, not being too low. How did you think they responded coming off the high that you guys had just a week ago?
Well, it was great to start the game. You go up 35-14 and you go out to a lead, and but it was a tale of two halves, and we weren't in the middle of that second half. So, man, we came out with a victory, which is so important, but man, we got to get better.
For Drew Pine and this offense, they were lights out in that first half. When they're good, where has this offense gotten better with Drew?
Well, I mean, when we're running the ball with efficiency, he's able to put the ball where it needs to go. It opens up the pass game. But what happened in the second half is we weren't able to run the ball, and now we're trying to force some passes. And so we have to play complementary football. We got to be able to run and throw it, and it was a tale of two halves, and we didn't do that on both halves.
Good deal. Appreciate it. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
All right, thanks very much. We appreciate Marcus Freeman's time. For Dan Orlovsky, for Chris Budden, the Shoe will be back with you guys next week. Thanks for having me along. Dave Fleming saying so long from Baltimore. Now we'll send you to Kevin Nagandi in the studio. Notre Dame barely beats Navy.
Dave, Dan, Chris, thank you so much. You said barely. How about what happened to LSU? Boog, Harold Perkins, the freshman, 4 sacks.